I hope you're doing well. I have I've got somebody in the basement. Are you ready? Thumbs up if you're ready. Ah, yay. Hello, friend.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. So,
Uh, Embarkation Nation.
hey. So, I've got my two friends, Traveling Check and Warmstrong Adventures. And man, it's been a Saturday. How's y'all's day been so far?
So far, so good.
It's been a great day.
Oh,
Good weather. Caught some Pokemon. I play Pokemon Go. I caught me some Pokemon.
I play Pokemon too. I got a
You getting a shiny?
Okay, all
Sorry?
three of us play. All of us play Pokemon Go. That's on the channel.
Did you get any shinies?
I did. Charmander. I did.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a shiny Heracross today too. He's pink.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was so. I see. I knew y'all were my people. I knew. Anyway, so well, that's awesome. I'm glad you had a wonderful Saturday. Mine's been pretty good. This morning, I know I was trying to catch Sherry live, but I was trying to get Chloe out the door to go to a birthday party. 2 and 3-year-old birthday parties are always fun. You know, it was at a jump world where it's like a bunch of trampolines and ball pits and slides, and it was right up Chloe's alley, and she was living her best life today. Um,
Is she in bed sleep already?
she's in bed. Let's see if since I'm
Okay.
talking, let's see if
she's
she
stay
comes
there.
out. So if you see me have to stop and parent real quick, y'all just continue on. So I also changed my background to Margaritaville. I know a lot of y'all have heard the news about Jimmy Buffett. I was so sad about it. We were just at Margaritaville for my birthday. It's always a stop we try to go to. I love Jimmy Buffett's music. I love Kenny Chesney's music, and I was really sad this morning. I felt very sad.
Yeah.
I know some of y'all, if you are Jimmy Buffett fans, you probably felt the same way I did. Like a legend, the music was kind of different and original.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, so I'll start saying hello to some people. Cruise Nuts was first. Hey, Cruise Nuts, I hope you're doing well. Journeys with June and Brady. Hey, Brady and June, I hope you're doing well. I heard Scott call them Aunt June and Uncle Brady the other day. So, hello, Aunt and Uncle. Embarkation Nation. Hey. Let's see. Danny D, the spectacular supporter. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Happy Saturday to you. Jaden 0428. I hope you're doing well. Embarkation Unknown Nation. I have a suspicion that's Andrew. Clock Family Adventures. Hey, I hope you're doing well. And that's it so far. I thought I'd also kind of start the show off by if y'all wanted to go ahead and introduce your channels. I'll hide the comments here so they can see your channel names. Tony and Lisa, did y'all want to lead off?
Sure. I'm Tony. This is my wife Lisa, and we are with Traveling Check.
Awesome. What's your channel about?
It's basically about some of our traveling and stuff that we've done. Right now, it's mainly has to do with scuba diving because that's the videos that we have. We're working on getting some other videos from our actual cruises and stuff put together because we're gonna branch out to not only. I mean, it's gonna be basically it's not gonna be just about cruising. It's gonna be about cruising, the excursions, and then some of the hobbies that we do.
Yes, that sounds fun. I love watching your channel. I've been on some of the adventures with y'all, so I like seeing y'all living your best, and we get to go on the greatest cruise of all time.
Right.
And so great.
I wish I could scuba dive because some of the things I'm too much of a chicken. But again, it looks amazing.
I have issues with my ears, but also I kind of feel a little bit of a panic. I think when I'm underwater, and I would just probably go through oxygen like crazy. So
Yes.
um, I saw a couple of individuals came in. Hey, Chris Goforth, I hope you're doing well.
Hello, hello.
Najuma Brown, I hope you're doing well.
Najuma. People always tell me, it's like, because to me, there's a difference, but it's like whether you're in 8 feet of water or 800 feet of water, it's still the same. I'm like, no, it's not. It somehow feels different. I know that you're drowning both, but somehow it's not the same.
One you
Right.
can touch the bottom, the other one you can't.
Yeah, well.
That's
I
true.
enjoy watching his videos so I can see what he sees without having to be under there and suffocating.
Exactly.
Exactly. I feel like I'm there,
Yeah.
but I'm not sucking in air in a panic.
When
Mr.
I
Warren,
tried doing a helmet dive in Cozumel,
Yeah.
and the water splashed up underneath the helmet, got in my mouth, and I was like, nope, I'm out of here. So I crawled back up and laid on the beach while he went and did his thing.
no, I can do snorkeling. I don't really like it when the waves go into the when you're breathing. I've had that happen like in Belize, and I like scuba. But I've tried scuba diving, but I had such a hard time equalizing my ears. I was just miserable the whole time, and couldn't hardly keep up with the group. So I ended up going back to the top. So I didn't get to experience it fully, but for those who can, that's awesome. And Mr. Warmstrong Adventures, would you like to tell us about your channel?
I would. You know what? And I'm so well. I bought a mic, and a lot of times I swing it out the way because it's so I can get out easy, and I forget to pull it over when it's time to go live because I wait till the last minute to come up here, of course. So it's like, yeah, if you ever see me without this and it's like you can barely hear me, just let me know. Old man forgot. I'm Bill from Warmstrong Adventures. Anyway, I do mostly cruising videos. It's about travel, but since I started the channel about a little over a year ago, year and a half ago, and I've only been on cruises, so I haven't really done any land adventures. But it's about traveling and the joy of traveling. I love traveling and the adventures that are involved with the traveling. So that's what I am about. I go live 2 times a week. On Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern time, I go on with Controversial Cruising, where we have a different topic for usually the cruising community that we talk about. And then on Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern time, I do my own show, Banter with Bill, which again is about cruising usually. This particular week, it will be on Banter with Bill will be about how safe are you on a cruise?
Ooh.
Do you feel safe? Are the ports safe? Just how really safe are you on a cruise? So I'll be talking about that Thursday.
Those are good topics.
Good topic.
And hello, Scrow's Nest. I hope you're doing well. I'm excited to get one of his magnets. I had told him on Thursday I'll swap with you, and then like craziness happened on Friday at work, and then here we are on Saturday, and he's just been awesomely patient with me. Chris Goforth says that he floats to the top of the water. Well, I also have that issue as well. I look like a duck trying to bob down there. I'm sure that was a visual for all of you. And then Danny D says she had a great day. She went to the Renaissance Festival with parents, cool. And posted a video. That's awesome. Got a henna tattoo for the first time. Those are cool. Yeah, I think we're caught up with chat. So I'll introduce myself. We're Embarkation Nation. We are a family of 3. We mostly vlog about our cruises, but sometimes we have some SeaWorld content or random trips to, different places like Vegas, Boston, Disney, just, kind of charting our adventures, vlogging about life with our daughter, Chloe, who is the core reason for this topic today. So she's 3, just so y'all don't know. So, kids at 3 years old, you never know what they're going to say. If you want the honest truth, go ask a child. No filter. So I thought this could kind of be a fun topic today. I was going to tell a couple stories of when I have said embarrassing things, Chloe has said embarrassing things, and then I thought if y'all wanted to share stories about your children or maybe somebody you've witnessed or something, just, you're like, wow, I can't believe they said that. So I thought it would just kind of be fun. I encourage the chat to also chime in if you have, if you can kind of connect with us and like, yep, my kid's done that too, or I've witnessed the same. We would love for you to kind of engage. And I thought this could be kind of a fun topic, nothing too serious, nothing too embarrassing, but just some good laughter. So I'll start off. So we had just recently went to Boston. I just posted earlier this week a vlog of our flight adventure with Chloe. And if you watched that one, you saw at the beginning when we're taking off, when they're kind of like adjusting the plane, the wings, and it has, airplanes make weird sounds, right? And she kept being like, ew, it pooted. And I'm like, no, baby, like it didn't poot. Like every noise here lately is like it's pooted or gas or some funny thing, and she's giggling. And we kept saying like, no, Chloe. And then she kept getting louder. Ew, it stinks. Ooh. And like we're trying to like go down the runway. I think the couple next to me is gonna have like a little bit of a breakdown because I don't know if it's like their first flight, but the plane's making some noises, right? And they just look a little nervous. And here's Chloe, last row right before the bathroom. Ew. And it pooted. And you would think that would be the embarrassing part. No, it wasn't. She proceeded through the whole flight. She just announced things like, she stood up in her seat. I gotta pee. And the poor lady in front of us, like, obviously was a mom and was like laughing, like she's trying not to be involved in our conversation, but just laughing along as kids. And so we're like, okay. So Andrew, we were right there. So he takes her. He was on the aisle seat, so he takes her, and then she comes back, and then he's like, okay, well, I'm gonna, while we're up, and I'm like, okay. So we're landing in Boston. We had a 3.5-hour flight, and entertaining Chloe the whole time of like keeping her busy. We had TV screens on the back, we were watching Paw Patrol. We had toys, different things, and we're like, okay, successful flight. We're landing on the plane starts making noises again, and she's like, ew again. So we're okay, we're good. Like, we've done this. Well, we think we're good, right? We're gonna get her off the plane. You know how everybody, like, you've landed, you're at your gate, and you're standing there, and everybody's kind of getting their bags, and you're not supposed to stand in the aisleway, but you do, right? Like everybody does. So we're kind of waiting, and Andrew stands up, and she's like, Daddy. And he's like, yeah, what's up? You pooped. And he's like, no, I didn't. And she's hearing like them get the bags underneath the plane, and you're hearing all these. She's like, Daddy, is that you? And Andrew's like, no. And the flight attendant is like dying laughing behind us. Of course, everybody's like alert because they're trying to get off the plane, and they're just laughing. And she's like, ew, Daddy, it stinks. It stinks, Daddy. You pooped. And she's like screaming it, like just screaming, like, Daddy pooped. He did no such thing, just so you all know. Like,
sure, I know Andrew. Sure.
I'm like, guys, y'all would know if he did. Like, and I'm like, Chloe, just sit down. Like, of course, I packed up her tablet. I packed up everything. I don't have anything to hand her to distract her. And she's like, Daddy, ew. Just so dramatic in her 3.5-year-old fashion. And guys, like, Andrew and I were just like, just get us off this plane. Like, she meant no harm. She was just being Chloe. But I have more stories, but I figure I'll kind of share, we could all share. But that was our adventure in Boston. Could not get us off the plane fast enough because, everybody was just laughing. They kept asking like how old she was, and they said she did well in the flight, but I'm sure the flight attendant will remember us.
Yeah.
I'm sure they've heard worse.
Oh, I'm sure they've seen worse too, but it was just in that moment, like everybody's looking back and they're laughing. You're just like, oh my gosh, you just kind of wish you're invisible at some point, right? Like, And so, yeah, that was that was like one of our embarrassing moments with Chloe. Like she likes to call it how she sees it sometimes. Chloe on the plane. Yes, yes, I'm telling you, she's a mess. Hey, Tinkerbell, hello from Puerto Rico. I hope you're doing well. Hey, Orange Cone Vlog. I hope you're doing well. Let's see. Oh, Uncle Dave. I hope you're doing well. Happy
Dave.
Saturday.
Welcome in, everybody.
Welcome in. So, if you came in, we're kind of talking about embarrassing things kids or people say while traveling. So, Lisa, Tony, do y'all have any stories of your kids or witnessing?
Well, I know my very first flight was your pawpaw. You know, you sit right behind the wing, right behind the wing. Okay, all right, Dad. So I get on the plane and I'm sitting there with some friends, and thankfully the girl that I was next to, her dad was a pilot, just not our pilot, right? So we're going from Love Field to El Paso to get to Austin. And trusting my dear dad, I look out the window when they fired up the engine and I saw fire and I'm like, oh my God, the plane's on fire. And I start screaming and people are panicking and my friend's like, no, it does that. Everything's and it was horrible. It was the longest flight ever. And then going into, that was probably 11 or 12 at that point. And then we flew to Oregon and got separated. Tony was up front with one kid and I was in the back with the other one, and going into San Francisco, or no, San Diego, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm freaking out because I'm looking out and I'm like, we're going down and there's no land. Where's the runway? And I start, and I'm 20 something years old at that point. I'm like, where? And the guy's like, oh, well, we had to go out over the water to come back in. I'm like, are you sure? So needless to say, I did not fly well for many years. I've gotten a little better at it, but those last two long flights kind of helped. I think I booked the last flight, so I'm getting there.
I was to say that one with Australia probably gave you a good experience over water, and
it was the shades were down and
It was
I did
dark.
not look out. I did not want to know.
Right. Just don't think about it.
We flew into Hawaii and, I'm expecting the lay welcome and everything that I've always seen. Yeah, we had to run to get to the flight to get from Honolulu to Australia. It was like, we had like 40 minutes maybe. And so I was like,
yeah, we got to the gate just as they started announcing the boarding.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. We've done that too. That's not fun either. I like a good 30 minutes before I have to board the plane. I hate running from one terminal to the next, or even like, gates, okay. But like when it's like terminals, like you're landing A and you've got to get to B and your flight's in 35 minutes. Like I start contemplating, like, is the plane just going to go ahead and just leave me? Because, wow.
Well, I try my best to give myself some layover time whenever I have to catch another flight. I know other people want to get there as fast as possible, but I like to have be able to relax, go to the restroom, go grab a bite to eat, maybe a drink, and just take my time. The stress of, am I going to make it? Am I going to make it? Running through the airport. Are they going to give my seat away? I mean, I hate that feeling.
I do too. And I try to leave, room in between flights for that, but, sometimes things happen. But
sometimes you can't
avoid it.
I try to look for a minimum of 2 hours, but sometimes that doesn't always work.
Yeah, that's me too. And plus too, with like Chloe, like it just helps getting her settled too. We can get her a drink, let her take her time,
Yep.
We don't really travel with the stroller anymore, but because we like to kind of tire her out, getting to the plane, especially when we're going to have a good 3-hour flight or something. Like, no, you're walking. And we did the stroller thing one time, and then she was wired up for the whole flight. We're like, no, now you're walking all of it. Hey, Will G, I hope you're doing well. Bama, hey Billy, I hope you're doing well. I need to catch up on his vlogs. I haven't watched them in a couple days. Orange Cone, He's like, he's very tired from the road trip today. Didn't get the live stream, but discovered a lot of places to stream in the future. Oh, that's awesome.
Oh.
Indiana Dunes National Lakeshore in Southwest Michigan. And as a pawpaw now, I think I'm the embarrassing one now. My grown kids don't invite me to public places anymore. Oh no. I would love to hear like a story though, like if you want to share. But yeah, we got those family members sometimes. You say that. I've traveled with y'all, like usually, like you said, I'm the embarrassing one. I sometimes don't think things all the way through and kind of random. Love the airport gift shops. Yeah, need an hour between flights. We do too.
For sure.
When we fly, only a nonstop or direct if possible. We used to be that way, but since, like I said, we've had Chloe, like it's just better for us if we have like a touchdown point to let her run around. Like Boston, the 3.5 hour flight, almost 4, was good, but we were getting antsy by the end. Like, and there, we had gone through all of our toys, all the downloaded TV shows. Like we were just kind of getting to that point. Nothing better than embarrassing your kids. So Bill, right? So Bill, do you have any interesting story like with?
I mean, I got a couple of stories. Not really like embarrassing, but main embarrassing for me. But like my granddaughter, we went down last year, or early this year. I believe it was early this year. Went down to Miami. And she would not get in South Beach. She would not get in the water. She said, "Oh, this water is nasty and disgusting. I'm not getting in the water." I'm like, this is going to be a nice cruise. Every beach we go to, you're going to be like this. No, it was just Miami. And so I have to agree. The water at South Beach. I know people love South Beach. There is nothing good about that water, other than maybe warmer than what it is up here in Michigan. But it is not. It doesn't look the cleanest.
Right.
But she refused. She did not get in the waters on South Beach. And once we got to Half Moon Cay, Carnival's private island, it took her a little while to warm up to get in the water. But then she could see in the water, and she started having a lot of fun in it. Then I picked her up, and of course I dropped her. That's a different story. That was a pop embarrassing moment. But she shook it right off, got up, and walked out the water, and as I struggle in the water. So
it's usually us who struggle. Like with me, and I've done that with Chloe. It's like me who's like, where did the kid go? Like, where's, I usually have dropped something. I agree.
Well, I grew up kind of going to Galveston, so everywhere I've been on a cruise ship has been amazing. I remember going one time, and it was after the Exxon Valdez incident, and it was several months after, and there were tar balls still washed up on the beach. You lay your towel down and lay down on the beach, you get up and it has a little tar all over the towel. It was gross. So we went to Destin, and I was like, oh, this is pretty. And it just gets even prettier as you go to the Caribbean. So
well, I was just the opposite. I pretty much over on Okinawa is where I grew up, and so I was used to clear water. Come back to the States, and the first time I got exposed to one of the beaches here in the States, I was in Georgia for training, and we all went to the beach, and we walked out there, and to me, it looked like mop water.
Right.
I even asked them, I was like, "Do you guys actually swim in this?" And they were like, "Well, yeah." I mean, it was no big deal, and I was just like, well, "Okay, well, I'm gonna stay here on the beach."
Fight the mosquitoes.
That's us too. We're kind of like, we live right here on the coast, and like those who we're in the Corpus Christi area, and it's a little bit clearer than Galveston, but it's not South Padre clear either, which I think after going some other beaches, I'm like, South Padre's not that clear either. But I kind of the same thing with Andrew, and I think I told the story on the Helping Hands for Cruising. I remember asking him, like, hey, we were going on a cruise. We were going on a princess cruise. No, it was his first cruise. And it was like a 5-day to Progresso and Cozumel. And I remember asking him about, hey, do you want to go snorkeling? And he was like, ooh, no. And he was just against it. And I'm like, you sure? Like, like, because I had been to Cozumel and I was like, it's and I just couldn't figure out why he was just like dead against it. And I'm like, okay. Well, he was from Boston, which that water is not the prettiest. And then he had been to Galveston with us, and that water is not the prettiest. And so I think he was thinking like that's what we're going to be snorkeling in. And I was like, like I said on the other day, like he saw when we got off the ship in Cozumel, he's like, I could see the bottom of the ship. I
Right.
could see the fish, and just the blueness of that water. And like, I mean, he was just so excited. And, so then, it's kind of like, well, I tried to tell you. Like, chill listened. But we snorkeled later. But speaking of Galveston, I have kind of a embarrassing moment in Galveston. So I was dating Andrew, but I was probably about 20. My dad, we had gone, we like to go to Galveston and Port Aransas to go fishing. And we like to go like on the bay fishing or like snapper fishing, just out. And we had done a fishing trip, had a really, really good time. And my dad was like, hey, call them and see if they have any 3-hour, 4-hour slots available. We'll jump back on, we're here for the weekend. I think it was Labor Day weekend to be exact. And I was like, okay. So I like look it up. I remember it wasn't like, I had a cell phone, but it was not like this. It was probably still like the, the flip phone type. So I remember, I think I even still opened up the phone book, right? And I call the party boat people and I'm like, hi. He's like, hi. And I'm like, how long are your 3-hour and 4-hour fishing trips? And I meant how much, but I said how long. And the guy, he was like, well, the 3-hour is the 3-hour and the 4-hour is the 4-hour. And I'm like, and I didn't even catch what I said. And I'm like, I know, but, and I said it again, like, but how long are they? And he was just like, 3-hour is 3-hour, 4 hours 4. And he's so professional. And my dad is like, I think he's about to roll off the bed just laughing because he's hearing me. And he's like, Jen, how much? Ask him how much. And I'm like, oh, what did I say? And he's like, just say how much, ask him how much. And so I said, oh, how much are they? And of course, now the guy's like, okay. And he's like, it's whatever for the 3-hour and 4-hour, for how much for the 4-hour. And I'm like, okay, thank you. Like hang up. And my dad's like, well, now we got to go to that one because I can't wait for him to see you tomorrow. We go fishing. And of course the guy was there and he was like, hi. And as soon as I said, hi, how are you doing? He was like, he just looked at me like, oh, you're that chick.
It's still 3 hours.
Yeah.
Or maybe 4.
It's 4. If I'm just down here like, yeah. So I was not one of my best moments when asking about pricing on fishing trips. Uncle Dave says that he thinks the water in Pensacola looks better than South Beach. In his opinion, I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Yeah,
but
the west coast of Florida, the Gulf side. Yes.
Yes. Like y'all were saying Dustin too. Like, yeah. See, I'm scrolling. I love Orange Cone Vlog. I love visiting the beach area, but you'll never enter the water. Yep. We kind of do the controlled environments also. It's like here, like you just don't know what's swimming up against you. I think Lisa, you probably can tell this story about like my dad keep catching a stingray in a beach towel or something.
I was just thinking about that. Yeah. Your mom and I, we were 18, I guess. So he was like 21, and a friend of his, the 4 of us went down to Galveston for like the weekend. And he and Lenny grab a beach towel and they're trying to scoop this stingray up in the beach towel. They're going down underneath it, taking down one side of the towel and lifting it up, trying to catch it. It'd come off, and they did it 2 or 3 times and finally got it out of the water, but not for long. It flopped and went on back out. But yeah.
They weren't trying to harm it. They were just, wanted to see it, right? Yeah. Yeah, but he would always tell me, he's like, yeah, how dads are. They like to tell you the stories, right? And he would tell us about every time we would go to Galveston, he'd be like, yeah, me and my buddy, we like took our beach towel and caught this stingray. And he's like, so when you're walking, shuffle your feet because they're here. And I'm like,
Oh boy.
okay, Dad. But I did step on a hermit crab once, and that hurt like a son of a gun.
He and I had gone down there, and of course, I'm young. I'm picking up all the shells. I put them in a bucket and just kind of throw them in the floorboard of his truck because it didn't have the carpet at the time. And we're coming back across the big bridge back to the mainland from Galveston, and I start feeling something like crawling on my foot. And of course, it wasn't seatbelts at that time, back in the 80s. And I jumped, had my feet up on the dashboard, and I'm screaming. And I figure out what it was. I rolled down that window and picked up that crab, just tossed it over it.
Oh.
I hope it made it over the railing and into the water, but at that point, I didn't care.
Oh boy,
It was supposed to be just a shell. It was not supposed to be populated.
Right. That's why you don't take the sea life home. You double check, right? Lessons learned. Yeah, I've done that too. I caught them, and then you hear like this scratching at the bottom of the like bucket later, and you're like, what is that? Uncle Dave is letting you know that he was stationed in Egypt when he was in the army. He has 26 dives in the Red Sea. Wow.
That's nice.
That's
Well, hopefully we'll get over there one of these days. We're trying to hit all the different areas.
us too. Hey, Shanster, I hope you're doing well. Hey. If I miss your comments, it's just because I'm trying to like make sure we good night. Eyes are getting tired. Okay. Have a great night.
Good night, Ross.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for joining us. So Bill, do you have any additional stories? Like,
Not really. I mean, most of it's been uneventful. 7 Mile Beach in Cayman Islands, I almost drowned because walking out in the beach and it just drops right off. I'm not the best swimmer, and it just shocked me. So I'm trying to swim to get back to where water's not over my head. Never told my kids. They were on the sand or on the beach and just playing. They never knew how close I was to drowning. But on the lighter side, I made it.
you made it. You made it.
But did you die? No, I didn't die. No, I'm good.
But I was scared for a minute. You know, it's true though. You don't let your kids know how like close to anything, you know, because you don't want to panic them, right? So you just kind of keep them.
Yeah, I mean, I went up in the arch in St. Louis, and I'm claustrophobic. And going up, you go up, and it goes where it's like no windows, so you're like in this little cart just going up with cement walls all around you. And I was having a panic attack, but I got my kids with me, so I'm just trying to be brave. I got to the top, and it's like, I'm ready, almost in tears because I know I got to go back down. I did it once. I'm not doing it again.
So we went into. I'm not really a huge fan of heights either, just to be honest with you. I think that's why I have such anxiety about flying. One of the reasons. And I know we were in Vegas once, and we went into the Eiffel Tower, and it's supposed to be like a half scale replica, and you kind of going up it, and you can kind of see out as you're going up, and I was having a hard time with that. Yeah. And I just remember like when we got to the top, Andrew's like against the fence part, and he's like, "Oh, look at this," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good." No.
Right.
I'm okay. And I just kept thinking like, goodness, like same thing. Like I have to go back down. Like,
yeah,
I have to go back down. And then I kept thinking like, gosh, if you can't handle the half scale of this, like there's probably no way you could go do the real thing. Like
I was over there. I did it, and it didn't bother me. Just certain things do, like the Space Needle in Seattle. They have a glass floor on part of it. I could not walk on the glass floor. I tried because I wanted to get a picture, like a video of walking across it and looking down. I couldn't do it. I mean, literally, it was like a cartoon. My knees started shaking, and I couldn't do it. Yeah. And the older I get, the worse it gets. My fear is of height and claustrophobia.
And I always kind of wonder at what age do you kind of develop that? Because I see Chloe like today, like she climbed up this top of this thing, was like trying to like leap for death, and I'm like, you wouldn't see me shimmy up that if the building was on fire. Like, one, I'm not shimmying, but two, like she like climbed up to the top of this thing and was like just jumping, and I was just like, what age do you kind of develop that like that fear, I guess.
I think mine was 11 on that plane. The plane. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I think that'd be enough to scare anybody, especially if they weren't used to it, if they'd never seen anything like that before.
Well, for whatever reason, planes don't bother me. I mean, give me a window seat, I'm looking out. A glass elevator, I'm not bad with. But if it's like a rail, like a glass, even like on a cruise ship, I don't like going right up to the rail and leaning on the rail. I'm like, what rail breaks? And so I'll go up to the rail, but I won't lean all over like some people do.
No, I
get
kind of
doing that.
So I guess if you went to the Grand Canyon, that bridge that goes out over.
No, I went out there. I could not even. I saw the bridge. There's no way I was doing that. But I got to the Grand Canyon. I couldn't go up to the rail to look over. My son did, and this how many years? This is 6-7 years ago, and he went up there and everything. But no, I watched from a distance.
Right. No. That one looks pretty intense for me too. I think I would be the sideline.
Well, they have the new bridge that goes up and over now instead of having to go down into like the dam area. And I'm just watching them build it, and it was so high, and I was like,
Yeah,
it's got to have like super high walls so I couldn't see where I'm at. And the only way I can do it.
I haven't been on it, but I've heard that the walls on the side are so tall that you cannot see over it because they didn't want people pulling over and looking out. So they built the sides of the bridge extremely high to prevent that. So they won't stop.
Yeah.
You got to think, I mean, because somebody would be like, look what I'm doing. Let me get that selfie. So Shanster said yes, it gets crazy deep real fast at 7 Mile Beach.
it did. I mean, it just dropped right off.
Oof. You can't die, Bill. YouTube wouldn't be the same without you. I have to agree, Bill.
Yeah.
I was.
Oh no, Bill. Well, next up.
No, because I'm going to tell you, Bill. I was going to mention this to you last night privately, but I feel like every live I go to, somewhere or some way, Warmstrong Adventures is mentioned. Like it's either a ship you've been on, or a topic you had, or like just different things. I mean, I swear, every live I go to, it's like, oh, Bill from Warmstrong Adventures, and then I find myself also every live being like, oh, our friend Bill. So I think Uncle Dave's onto something here. It would not be the same.
That mustard drill. Last night he was saying something about how I hated the Luminosa. I didn't hate the Luminosa. What I did say though was how they hyped it up to have this Italian theme. It didn't have that.
Yeah.
And but Tony and Lisa, they can vouch for this. On the way back from Australia, the food options closed down at 5. After 5, you had to go a buffet, a paid option, or the main dining room, or pizza, because every other option was closed. And I mean, those are the things that I didn't like about it. So they're working on it. I mean, the ship itself wasn't a bad ship. It wasn't Italian theme. Like they said, oh, it's from Costa, it's this Italian theme. Yeah, no, it wasn't. I was highly disappointed with that.
Yeah.
We actually told ourselves we would never go on that ship again until that. And then here we are.
We are
booked on it already.
Well, and it's limited options. It's like the Splendor, Spirit, or the Luminosa kind of go on that Trans-Pacific cruise. Yeah. So you kind of limit it, and you can't beat the itineraries.
No.
Too bad that's not like on the Panorama, that itinerary, because I know y'all both have said
I
great
think
things
that's my
about the
favorite.
panorama.
Panorama was one of my favorites,
Yeah.
next to the XL class ships.
What's that one that we went on out of Florida?
The Horizon.
That was a good one too.
Yeah.
Oh, the
I-
Horizon.
The Horizon felt. I went out of there and it felt more run down. Like they just didn't take care of it like they did like the Panorama, and they were built around the same time, but the Panorama just felt like a newer ship. The design was pretty much the same, but the Horizon to me just felt run down. You know, the doors falling off the hinges in your cabin, and just the upkeep just wasn't as good.
That's how
Oh,
we
no.
felt about the Vista. Like that is exactly how we felt about the Vista. Like for it to be, and I think we even said in one of our lives, like we were so excited about the Vista because it was like, oh, it's newer than the Dream and the Freedom and the, you know, and then it felt older. To be honest with you, we get there and it's like, I mean, I felt like it was like the Millennium Falcon of cruise ships. I mean, a big old hunk of rust. I mean, it was looking rough. I was like, goodness. And then, I mean, like we, you know, we had doors coming off the hinges, and then like everything kind of just. We were walking, and there's like a soft spot in the floor, like on the like when we were doing the gift exchange, like,
Yes.
and it was like this ship's not even 10 years old. Like, what the heck? Anyways,
I did that on the Horizon. I'm walking in, and I'm it was on the back of the ship, and I'm walking. And I felt like a soft spot. I'm like, what was that?
right.
Am I going to fall through?
Wow.
Hope this carpet holds me.
I may end up with that on the Luminosa with all that leaking that was going on Lido deck.
The dining room area and all that.
Mhm.
It just stayed wet.
Yeah. Well, the Luminosa is not on our bucket list, but you know, the right cruise deal, it may be.
Yes.
That's
It's the only reason we're back on it.
yeah. No, that's the only reason we got back on that was because it's going to Okinawa.
Yeah.
That cruise did drop for me. It was, I don't know, 3,400. Now they got it down to 2,800. So
Ooh.
fingers crossed. Maybe to keep falling a little bit, I might join you on that ship.
Fingers crossed. That'd be great.
That'd be cool.
Cruise Vet leaves Monday for a cruise, guys. So he
All right.
look at that, taking a break from packing to peek in on you guys. I'm ready to go skydiving with Bill. Oh, I didn't know that was happening.
You know, I did a helicopter ride in Alaska. I was holding on for dear life. I mean, it was scary. Actually, I made it to the glacier, and it's like I'm not gonna make it back. Can I walk back to the ship? I don't know. There's a cab up here someplace, but I made it. I made it. It was tough. The way back, I guess maybe I was used to it because I did it before now, and I didn't die, so it wasn't as bad. So, but if I go back, I would do it again.
I'm going to probably tell some plans here. I was looking on the Alaska for weddings, right? And one of the things you can do is be helicoptered in on the glacier, like what you did. And then I was like, there's no way I can be. I would just be so nervous.
It was tough.
How amazing! It was like $5,000. Like what an
Whoa.
experience for, I mean, a wedding. But I was like, I can't be helicoptered. I don't think I can do it. Mm-mm.
What the $5,000? What did that include?
Not much.
Okay.
Like you, your spouse, maybe one or two family members, and a like
Minister.
your minister preacher.
I mean, again, it wasn't cheap when I went. It was 600 a person. So that's why when you said 5,000, it's like I wasn't shocked by that because I mean, again, 4 or 5 people. Yep, you're right there. Include the wedding service. You're right there.
Yeah, I looked at it. I haven't made any. Just so y'all know, I haven't made any plans. But I looked at it and I thought, how cool would that be? And then I was like, oh, you have to fly? Is there like a boat? Like, can you take me on like?
The next best thing would be top deck at well, we were at Edward Arm for your fjords.
For George. For George.
I think it's Yule. But it was absolutely beautiful. So, while the ship's there rotating so everybody can see all sides, and that would just be a beautiful backdrop.
I agree.
And you don't have to fly.
And just know, like, we're talking about embarrassing things and stuff, that I will probably have embarrassing questions. Like, well, I just can imagine, like, trying to plan a wedding with somebody. I'm sure I would ask so many dumb things. Anyways. Journey with June and Brady. They're going on the Panorama in February. That's going to be awesome. Here's another group of cruisers. Rob and Jan can cruise. They were on the Vista with us. I wonder if y'all had the same feelings we did about the Vista. Like, oh boy. But they do a lot of long cruises. 21 days, 14 hours, and 18 minutes till 7 days on the Glory. Roatan, Belize, and Cozumel. Who's counting? Like,
nice, Uncle Dave.
That is awesome. That's going to be a fun itinerary. We actually like that one. We don't really do much in Belize, but we have a good time on that itinerary. Good night, Clock. I hope you have a great night.
Night.
Hi, Anthony on the move. I hope you're doing well.
Hey, Anthony.
Hey, Anthony.
Okay, so Rob and Jan can cruise. Probably just Jan. Hey, if you spend the same amount in the casino as the cost of that cruise, you would probably be offered one or many more free. Not promoting gambling, but
I do gamble, and the last 2 years, 22 and 23, I've had those offers for the free cruise. I haven't gotten that one yet, and I'm fingers crossed. I'm still waiting on it. I think that was 23, so I did the spring one for 23, so maybe 24 they'll offer me one for 100. But again, I do gamble in the casino, and I do get my casino rates in. That's why I'm so loyal or so crazy for Carnival, because they give me such great rates because I gamble. And I don't gamble a lot. The only time I start gambling a lot is if I win a lot. And when I say I don't gamble a lot, let's say a 7-day cruise, $500 to $600 I'll take in. With that, if I win, a couple of $100, $400, $500, $600, I'll gamble that back. So now I'm up to $2,000 or $1,000 or whatever. And I mean they're usually pretty good to me. Here lately, some offers just came out, and I do have a free cruise. When I say free, it's an interior cabin for $100, and you get $200 onboard credit. So basically, you're paying up front for the onboard credit.
Mm-hmm.
I just haven't done it yet. I'm thinking about it. I have about 6 or 7 cruises right now in the works, so I just haven't done it. But we'll see.
Well, after the Luminosa the first time, I told my boss when I first asked her about taking off, I said, we won't do this again unless, of course, Japan comes around for the same offer. And she's like, oh, okay, all right, that's fine. And then so I got the offer. I screamed here, and Tony's like, what's wrong? I said, Mommy, I got Japan. And he's like, what? So I go to work the next day, and I'm like, so you remember I said I wouldn't do this again unless we got Japan? She went, yeah. I said, I got Japan. Can I take off again? She was like, oh my God, do you have the leave? I said, yeah, I have like 7 weeks right now, and it's still going to build. And she's like, all right, just get your reports done. I said, okay. Went back to the desk, texted me like, we're going to Japan.
I had to check with my boss first. So
that is an incredible cruise.
Yeah.
They still haven't released excursions for 4 of the ports.
Yeah.
They were slow on the last Luminosa. They were slow releasing excursions.
Y'all said that too. Yeah.
Well, they finally released 2 of them, and I thought, okay, here we go. And that's been 6 weeks at least. So,
yeah, they don't really have. They don't, and the ones they do have aren't really that great.
Not in 2 of the locations, but I'm excited about the Okinawa, because it's going down into the underground, whatever, where the Japanese soldiers were during the war there.
Oh, the
So,
tunnels and stuff like
yeah.
that. That's cool.
No thanks.
There's no water. That's
Being-
only like okay.
Being in
Crawling on
caves
tunnels.
and things like that bother me. It seems like everything bothers me. But yeah, being in caves, especially if they're tight, it bothers me. I don't want to be trapped, because I can just picture like being trapped, no light, and just trapped underground and just waiting. I get
Right.
anxious. Like when that submersible went missing. I mean,
Mhm.
I couldn't stop looking at it. But every time I hear the story, I mean, I used to see me getting anxious and rubbing my leg, and it's like, my goodness. I mean, what can you imagine what that would be like to be down there in the total darkness? Okay, let me stop. I'm getting myself worked up now. Let me stop.
Well,
Well, I've done those C&Cs, and those are, because you're down in the lower deck, and you can see the fish and everything out, but you're still inside the boat. And I couldn't even imagine being a submarine, because they're much deeper than
Yeah.
that. And I'm just like, okay, I'm ready. Are we done? Can I get off?
Yes.
yeah, nope. I don't really like being in tight spaces or anything like that either, to be honest. So they say that I keep waiting for them to drop off my free cruises, but they keep sending them. That's what y'all have said. Y'all must be getting mine, because they haven't sent me one in like a year. So, if you just want to send that back over, I'll take your free cruise. My mom has like a free balcony, a free interior, a free ocean view. Like, I was looking at her, she had like 12 offers. I was like, and I'm like, hey, do you want to go on this cruise with us? Oh no, I got to work. What about this? Oh, I'm like, man, Mom, if I had all those offers sitting there. But anyways. Anthony on the Move says 42 days until the Allure of the Seas. Oh, that's gonna be nice. I can't wait to try Royal. I'm really excited for Royal.
Me too. I'm doing Allure of the Seas in April, and I'm really looking forward to that.
I'm
And
excited to
Utopia.
experience.
I'm really excited for it.
Yes, Utopia. I honestly, I know the Jubilee's coming out. I'm excited for it. There's elements I'm really excited for. The cruise, the NCL, I'm excited for, but I don't know why, but I'm really excited for Utopia. I don't know if it's because like we're finally going on Royal. I don't know. I'm really excited for it. I'm excited for everything, but that one I'm really excited for.
And I guess that's where I am with Royal, because it's like normally I never thought about going on a new Royal ship because they're so expensive. But now I'm just like, man, I'm going on a brand new Royal ship for 3 days, but they cut the price in half, which makes it affordable.
Right. That was us. I mean, well, to put it in perspective, we're going on the NCL Encore in March, and I asked Andrew the other day, like, how much is that cruise? Of course, Nick, we booked later, and we're like we're on the family floor with the ocean view, and he was like, it was like almost $4,000. I was like, what? And then look at the MSC, World America inaugural sailing, and we got that for like $2,800 with a balcony. And then I look at Utopia, we did the back-to-back, and it was like $2,800, and I'm like, really, NCL?
Yeah.
Then it made me not so excited for that ship, because I was like, that better be a good cruise. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, we're wanting to try some different cruise lines, but it's just kind of hard to. Well, I don't get a whole lot of leave,
Yeah.
so it makes it kind of difficult to. And then on top of that, when she gets those special offers, it's like, do you spend, $1,000 on this cruise or a free room on this one?
As Rob and Jan say, that's gambling money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly it.
I'm mad about the Jubilee. I'm going on Jubilee, the greatest cruise ever, which, okay, I don't know why I said that. December 23rd. And I think that for that week, it was inaugural cruise. It's like $2,700. And it's like one of the most expensive cruises I've ever booked. And I'm not really excited about going. I want to see the people on the cruise and things like that. It is the inaugural. but I'm really not that excited for the ship because I've been on the Mardi Gras and I've been on Celebration. It's a sister ship, so I'm assuming it's going to be the same. They're going to change the paint a little bit, but because it's inaugural and I've never been on a Christmas cruise, just to see what it's like. I went on Thanksgiving and I was so disappointed. I'm expecting like this elaborate turkey dinner on the Thanksgiving, and it was a celebration, and I'm expecting this elaborate turkey dinner, and they had like a turkey loaf that they cut up. I'm not even eating this. I was so disappointed. I think I went to the deli, or I don't know if I went to the buffet, and they might have had a turkey there. But again, I didn't enjoy it the whole night. I was all upset because of the turkey loaf they served.
Hi.
The one we went on, it was Thanksgiving week, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
We had a miserable time, and it wasn't because of the ship. It was because of all the kids and the way they were running around and destroying stuff. And I mean, they trashed one of the elevators so bad they had to shut it down to clean it
Oh wow!
because the kids
Yeah.
were tearing it up. Kids were sitting there. We'd watch them. Some of them would be, there'd be a group of them, and they'd be throwing food on the floor, and then watching the people clean up. And as soon as they'd leave, they'd start throwing food on the floor again.
That just makes me angry.
Yeah,
Because these people like me who have kids that travel with kids, it's like, y'all need to control your kids. I do.
Yeah. Well, you didn't see there wasn't a parent around.
Mm-mm.
right.
Right.
Oh, but see, I have no problem speaking to them. I had some kids on a cruise ship. They were playing like with the ice cream thing. Hey, stop! Just stop. And they did. They gave me a look, but they stopped. But again,
Yeah.
have a little control.
Yeah.
Little-
But most time, kids don't bother me. Again, kids being kids, and I know they bad parents or whatever. I go to my own little corner someplace and enjoy myself, and that's
Yeah,
it.
but if they're just having fun, that's one thing. But when they're being destructive, I have a very low tolerance for that. I mean, when we went to Alaska, I heard there was 40 kids on that one, and I saw one, and she got the Build-A-Bear in the little deal because she was the only kid in there, and it was cool because not that we never saw them, but there was never.
You didn't know they were there. They were. I don't know if it was because they were so well behaved or not necessarily well behaved, but
just weren't tearing stuff up and bringing attention to themselves.
Well, that's like the Trans-Pacific cruises. Very, very few kids. I mean, again, and it seemed like the ones that were on there were very well mannered.
Yeah.
Hey, Bruce.
Hey, Bruce. I hope you're doing well.
They're running up and down the hallways too, knocking on.
All hours of the night.
Uncle Dave says the last excursion I booked through Carnival, they were slow and only had time for the tender excursion and get back in time. No time to see Belize. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. 27 days from 15 days on the Venetia. Longest
Nice.
cruise we've ever done. That's going to. Any advice? For 15-day cruise?
Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the cruise. I mean, again, a lot of times with 15 days, I'm assuming you're going to have quite a few sea days. And for me, it's all about relaxing. Good thing I have my itinerary on my phone. The fun times I on my phone, so I can plan out my days in advance instead of waiting for them to come out every day and put them on my bed at night for people that like to pay for it. Anyway, and just see what activities you want to do while you're on the ship. But again, I was always worried about that. I think the most sea days I did in a row was probably about 8, and it didn't bother me one bit. It kind of flew by.
That's what I was going to say. The 8-day cruises, even, like, they seem to fly by. I haven't done the 15 or more, but.
10 or more of the Journeys cruises, they have specialists or whatever that'll come on. They'll have a lot more comedy shows. We went to a lot of comedy shows on the Luminosa.
Yep.
Went to a cell phone class, how to tweak your phone to take better pictures and different functions and things that
It was about Apple phones, yeah.
that I had no idea what to do and how to do, and taught us how to draw on there. I drew a Peanuts character, and The one guy, he's a stunt guy out in Hollywood, and we saw him on the Sunshine. Is that what we were on the
Yeah.
10-day? And then he was on this one again, and he got on the last stop before Hawaii and was going to stay on through Seattle. And so I only got to go to, 2 of his episodes there, but he is so down to earth, and, and he talks about, oh, well, it was, lunch with Tom Cruise and blah, blah, blah. And that's like me telling you, Jen, oh, well, Tony and I went to Walmart today. And it was just so, it wasn't, oh, look at me, I know Tom Cruise. It wasn't anything like that. And he was really cool. So on those journey cruises, try to find those shows or the educational stuff. I know Hawaii or Alaska, they have someone comes on and talks about just all the cool things in Alaska. It's very educational, and they kind of do things like that. There was one guy on the Luminosa Bill. I don't know if you saw him or not, but he seemed to be extremely intelligent to the point that he was not much of a conversationalist, and he was trying to teach. And I was like, we're back here, because he was talking to the screen and staring at it while he was talking about really fascinating stuff. But I'm like, hi, over here, and it was almost like if you were having a conversation with him, you would have to pull information out of him because there's just so much going on up there.
Right.
But I really enjoyed going to shows like that. And we actually did bingo for the first time, on there. And but they have those extra guests on board that'll do educational stuff, and I would definitely say try to get to some of that.
Yeah, they did
that too.
Yeah,
cooking classes and stuff like that. If you go to a class where they have wasabi, it's this little green stuff. Don't eat the little green stuff that's on your plate because it's hotter than heck.
And Jan was saying that, like the longer cruises are the best because you make more friendships because you see the same people longer. I can see where that's true.
That's true.
You get like a group together, and then, you stay in same thing with joining the Facebook groups. I think you see like some of the same people, like in how they chat, and you're like, man, they're cool. Like, and you're like, can't wait to meet that person. And you kind of build that connection with them. I think that is a very true statement.
I did that when I did the Splendor in 2022. We had a Facebook group, and we, all met on the ship, and we did a lot of our excursions together. And every day, you knew they were going to be up there playing cards at a certain time on deck 10. And it was just like one big happy family. And I really love the longer cruises. The longer, the better. Mm-hmm. And I will say this though, like a 15-day cruise, I don't know what your status is, but it was really handy to have. Like I had on Carnival, I'm a diamond. So I get unlimited laundry. So it really made it easy for me to pack. So I didn't have to overpack. I didn't have to worry about, paying the fees for laundry or the was it Splendor or Luminosa? One of them didn't even have a laundry room anyway. So you couldn't do your laundry even if you wanted to. So I mean that to me that would be the biggest thing that to worry about would be, your laundry. And try not. I mean, for me, I try not to overpack.
That's a very. Go ahead.
Well, one of the things that we started doing is that she bought some heavy-duty magnetic hooks. That like if we need to wash socks or something like that, we'll do it there in the sink, or a shirt or something like that. And then we have the hangers where we'll put the hooks on the ceiling and then hang our shirts up and stuff to let them dry out there. Mm-hmm. Instead of having to send them out, because they ruined one of mine to the point where I can't wear it anymore, and so I don't really trust them with anything.
They can have the jeans.
Yeah, jeans and stuff like that they can have, but if it comes to dress clothes or something nice, no, they're not getting it.
Well, usually, I'll have like, t-shirts, khakis, nothing expensive, nothing fancy, and let them have that. If they lose it, they lose it, even though they've never lost anything of mine. But nothing fancy. If I do bring a suit, they don't clean it. I'll wear the suit twice if I have to, or like if I take a suit and maybe I'll switch up the shirts and the ties.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I don't bring two suits. If we have 2 or 3 or 4 on a longer cruise, elegant nights, I just bring like one suit. Most of the time you'll catch me in t-shirts and shorts.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Uncle Dave said that he met some people on his cruise, on his first cruise in 2016. He's still friends with today. That's kind of true with us too, Lisa. Like, remember, like Sylvia and some of that whole group.
Yeah.
We were the admins for our group on the Freedom in 2019, and like we just got to know so many people through that Facebook group that when we got on the cruise, it was like, oh, we finally get to meet you, but we kind of already felt like we knew them, kind of like YouTube. You know how we kind of get to know each other, and we made some like friendships today. Like, I mean, I was checking on Sylvia not too long ago and was like, hey, like her and her husband still cruise and they do some great things. And so I do agree with that. And then actually, you know, you mentioned that it's how you met Scott from Controversial Cruising. He was on Bill's Live, his Wednesday show. And if you're not watching, you should. But he was a couple of weeks ago talking about how like he does like the October, like the booze cruise on the Dream and how many he had done in a row. And I was like, wait a minute. We have been on the Dream at Halloween. And I started looking, and I actually had commented to Scott on a post 5 years ago on the Carnival Dream talking about like, where are you from? Let's get to know each other type post. And I'm like, hey, and we had like this whole conversation, and I didn't even know who Scott was. And then to kind of come full circle, and now we're doing trivia with him, and you know, just to know how amazing he is. I kind of wish we would have got to meet him 5 years ago, but yeah, that's kind of cool. You do get to meet, you know, cool people and get to know them very well. And then you meet some that you're like, "Ooh, I hope I never see you again." Because wow,
Yes.
wow,
Yes.
there are some people on cruise ships that I'm like, goodness, how do you wake up in the morning? Because boy, but we don't talk about those people. We do carry only for all trips. The last one was 40 days, 33 days in a row on a ship. Wow.
Oh wow.
They've made great friends. Yeah, y'all do a lot of the long cruises.
And so, I mean, yeah, it gets to be so easy, especially long cruises, just meeting people and just chit chatting and talking and find out things that you have in common.
Yes. That's what's cool about, you know, cruising in general is, you know, you're on there with like what, 5,000 people, you know, crew included sometimes, and you're going to meet somebody who you have similar interests. Are you just alike? Maybe not. But you're going to find similar interests, and that's what's great is like, at least for me, I know if I'm in the casino and I'm doing my thing in the casino, I'm probably with about 40 other people in the casino who like the casino, doing their thing in the casino like me. So it's easy to talk about. Or, you know, hey, how's your cruise going? Oh, it's good. What excursions you do? You know, and you can just kind of, you know, have a good conversation. Do you have to be best friends like 6 months from now? No, but they may be your best friend in 6 months. You just never know.
I mean, a lot of people, you keep in touch with, and
Yeah.
even if you don't make plans on cruises, but again, it's like, hey, when's your next cruise? And matter of fact, I just got off the phone today with somebody that I did the Splendor with in 2022, and they're going on a cruise in September, and I forget the name of the cruise. But again, they're going to win. Oh no, I'm going in October. Maybe we'll catch up next time.
Yeah. Well, Rob and Jan Can Cruise, they were on the Vista with us, and they were in the Facebook group. And we unfortunately, you know, due to internet and just kind of how things fell, we didn't get to meet on that ship. But then we found out later we were supposed to be on the same Hawaii cruise. Well, now we've kind of had to we're not able to go on that one. But I know there's going to be a cruise with Rob and Jan at some point, because they, you know, like, I just know it's going to happen.
Well, they cruise a lot, so if you like cruising, I'm sure we'll all run into Rob and Jan.
Yeah.
Well, I did read today on the Greatest Cruise of All Time that there's a very nice balcony that's going to be opening up. So probably next week. I'm just saying.
On the Jubilee.
Yeah.
I can't afford the interior room, so I got bed looking at whether the price of this this balcony would be.
Yeah, and it was going to be a very nice balcony too. So I was just like, yeah, I don't think my plan is going to
Is it
work.
the
for
back
that.
corner
Oh.
one?
Oh,
Is it Ocean Oceans?
I don't know who it was. It was somebody that was in the page,
Oh
in the
no.
Facebook page, posted they're not going to be able to go.
You need to call your travel agent. I know he's got to work at 7 in the morning, but you need to call him and be like, hey,
You think
Yeah.
we can get that for the current offer that we're on?
wouldn't that be
I
nice?
couldn't even get a balcony or an ocean view for that one. Although I had it on the initial inaugural cruise. So,
yeah. Well, he called Carnival and he presented that case, and they were like, well, sorry,
sorry, it's not that
we're not
cruise.
getting a Cove balcony for $100 this time.
Yes, I'm not saying it was my travel agent. It was just how things worked out. You know.
Yeah,
We're
that was
not
that
spending
deal.
much time in the room anyway, so interior is good.
We like interior. It's a
Oh,
little
no.
challenging with Chloe because we did the bunk bed thing, like where she's up above us, and Andrew hit his head every morning. So then we stopped doing that. I mean, every morning, I'm like, it's like day 5. You didn't figure out it's there. Anyways,
I did some funny stuff every morning.
just was like, but then, so then she was like, then she was sleeping at the foot of our bed, like that was, anyways, it was like, I feel that's when I kind of realized I really like the ocean view or the balcony where they have the couch, because that's where we move her, and she has her own space, and I'm not like worried I'm going to like roll over and kick her in the night and deal with that.
Yeah. Those walls are awful thin for the neighbors to hear you do that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure our neighbors already, already are like, oh, good, a 3-year-old next to us.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. No emotions over here. Don't worry. We try really hard, but she's not too bad. Like but then we have moments, like when the
Mhm.
cruise has just been overstimulating, or we've been out all day and she's just done. And it's like, come on, let's do it. And she's just like on the floor, just having a moment. And that's when I'm gonna start busting out the camera now and be like, y'all wanna know what it's like to really cruise with a toddler?
There you go.
So I know that we've kind of varied from our topic. I can't really, I was trying to think of another story. I know I have them of Chloe, but maybe another time. But did y'all have any more that y'all wanted to say? I feel like this could be our lighthouse topic, but
No, we'll probably remember them now once we get off.
Yeah.
But the one that really sticks in our head for some reason, and it's really not that big of a deal, but Kelly, we were staying down in McAllister one time, and we had the hotel, and she was, I don't know how it came about, but I guess she saw the hotel and she called it Ramadan. We were staying at the Ramadan Hotel, and it's the Ramada, but she was pronouncing it Ramadan.
And I still think about that as I travel across the
Yeah.
state. Oh, look, there's a Ramadan.
I
And then
couldn't.
we had another daughter. Should I tell them that one about the ducks?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
This one's kind of a sad story.
Oh,
We were driving back from Oregon. She had her learner's permit. So I said, what the heck? When she got her learner's permit, she actually drove all the way to Oregon and back on her learner's permit. I figured what better way to get experience driving? We're all in the car. I'm supposed to be watching on the way back. I'm supposed to be watching her drive, and I start nodding off, and all of a sudden we're in the middle of New Mexico, out in the middle of nowhere. And all of a sudden she starts, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And all of a sudden I hear this, ta-tum. She hit a family of ducks crossing the road. And I'm like, how can anybody hit ducks in the middle of New Mexico, out in the middle of the desert?
Oh no.
I don't know if we didn't look back, but it's to this day, we're still like,
Oh no. That would have been traumatizing for me. I think I would have been done. Like I would have been like, I'm done driving. Like,
But but I'm still trying to. Still to this day, I think back about that. You're in the desert, and there's ducks. But I mean, because there's no lake around, no nothing.
Well, not anymore, but
She kind of freaked out before we got to the Hoover Dam too. Of course, I understand that myself.
Oh yeah,
She was trying to do it, and she was like, "Oh, she couldn't," and so we just had to pull her on a random spot. And she's freaking out; she couldn't let go of the steering wheel.
oh boy.
Yeah,
yeah. That was before they built that overpass, and you had to go up those windy roads.
yep, that was crazy back in those days.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned Ramada. Like I when I was little, I couldn't say armadillo. It was amadillo. And my dad was like, no, it's arm. Say it with me, arm dillo. And I could say it. And then he was like, okay, now put it together. I'd be like, amadillo. And he's like, no. I felt like Joey from Friends. Like if y'all have ever seen the episode where he's trying to like learn French, like that was me. And then same thing with Colorado. I still, to this day, spell it out color and then ADO. Like, to this day, like, that's how Colorado. And he was like, no, Colorado. I'm like, Colorado. And now with Chloe, when she's, like, saying words, I'm like, I kind of, like, it just kind of stops in my head sometimes. I'm like, okay, like, what is she trying, what is it she's trying to say? Because, you know, sometimes, like, words are hard, right? And I'm like, no, baby, that's, you know, whatever. And she knows cruise ship. She knows that word. And pizza. Oh goodness, guys! Today, like Andrew was like, Chloe, like she was like climbing, and you know she's ignoring us a little bit. She's jumping away, and Andrew's like, Chloe, and she's just she kind of looks over, and he's like, the pizza's ready, and she's like, my pizza? Well, no, Chloe, it's for the party, but the pizza's ready. And so she comes like running, and she's like, pizza. It was just like when she does on the cruise ship. I was like, and then like the other mom, we're really good friends. It's actually Chloe's best friend Bailey's birthday, and so she had her daughter, and Chloe was like, Bailey, come on, there's pizza, and Bailey's like, pizza, and then like it was just the whole deal. Like I mean, because Bailey's like, you know, a little bit younger than Chloe, and it was like, why are you so excited about this pizza? And like Chloe was just like, pizza. I'm like, I promise you, we feed her pizza, guys.
Pizza is good.
Yeah, that it is.
well, one of them had trouble. She had a spacer before she got braces, and she couldn't say the word kiwi. It was like kiwi, and it was like her tongue was getting stuck on the spacer or something. And so, of course, we still have to tease her about that. And every time I do, then she says that I ruined Christmas. So,
Yeah. It's funny. It's funny how you like in your family you get like I remember my brother still gives you know Justin, he still gives me grief about tow truck, like because I spelt it like, I mean, gosh, guys, I was in like second grade and I spelt it TOE, you know, like the toe and then truck. And to this day, like he still's like, oh, like when he spelled tow truck, and I'm like, Justin, it was like 1995. Get past it. I'm like, geez, you must be a Cowboys fan. Jeez.
Wow, Cowboys fan.
He's not. He's a Packers fan, but anyways. Journey with June and Brady. Our daughter called grasshoppers. Oh, fire truck is another one.
yes.
Yeah.
Fire truck. Oh, that's funny. Good night.
Hey, Rob, Jan.
I hope y'all have an awesome night. Dave says, "What were ducks doing in New Mexico?" Is my question. Yeah,
That was my.
Bill.
Not anymore. We don't ask that question anymore.
next time you see a family of ducks, you're gonna think that one.
That was
Well,
it.
you know,
Oh.
I couldn't understood it if we were by a big lake or something like that, but I mean, we were literally out in the desert in the middle of nowhere.
Huh.
That's too
But
funny.
we did tell her, that we did reassure her, you did the right thing. I mean, you it's not like you can
Yeah.
just swerve.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's what they said here. It's better than getting everybody hurt. It's true, but gosh, how traumatizing.
Yeah, especially since she was just learning. But we did make sure she understood. You reacted correctly. I mean, unfortunately,
Do like I would do. They're probably okay.
yeah.
No, we're not gonna go back and look. They probably made it.
They're okay. They probably made it. They're on the farm.
Yeah, they're on the farm.
So Chloe's I was working one day. I think I was on the phone with you, Lisa, and I thought I haven't heard the guinea pig in a couple
Oh.
I haven't heard her today in a couple hours, and unfortunately I went and looked, and Marshmallow was no longer on this side.
Oh.
So I call Andrew. I'm like, hey, Marshmallow passed away. Like, I need you to kind of take care. She's in a shoebox, but I need you to take care of her before Chloe finds out. So we Andrew gets home. He's like, where's the box? And he tells Chloe, he's like, go inside. I gotta do something. And so I'm like distracted in her house. Well, luckily it took Chloe a day or two to realize that Marshmallow was not there. And we were trying not to say anything, but so anyways, and then she's like looking around the house. She's like, Marshmallow, where are you? Like, she thinks she got out, and we just didn't want to tell her she died. So I was like, well, maybe you should clean your room and look for her there.
Wow.
I didn't want to I didn't know how to explain to her that she passed away. So I was just like, why don't you go clean your room and look for her there? I didn't know how to approach. We have a hamster still, Jelly Bean, but Jelly Bean was not as exciting as Marshmallow. Anyway, sorry. Yeah. Those are those parenting things. I'm like, how do you handle this? Because my dad probably would have just been brutally honest with me.
Yeah.
And it's like, but then I was like, she's gonna be upset and crying, and maybe we can just she'll just forget in a couple days. And she's moved on,
But at one point, I had a fish.
Oh,
Took him in, had the hot water running because I was going to wash out his little fish bowl, and scooped him out, put him in another little dish of water, and got the hot water just running, trying to get the his little bowl washed out, and he flips and flops in his little bowl and flops out into the sink into the hot water. So then I had to tell the kids that we were going to have boiled fish for dinner, and they said, "Fish?" And I said, "Yeah," and they're like, "Where's Fishy?" I was like,
do they eat fish to this day?
Angel says she's allergic to fish.
That's what Justin says too.
Yeah.
I did that. My brother, I had a big aquarium, and I had him watch my house when I went on vacation, and came back. It's like, hey, where are my fish at? He said, well, yeah, I saw this light coming on and off in the aquarium, so I turned it so it just stayed on all the time. You turned the heater on to stay on all the time?
Oh no!
And I mean, well, no more fishies.
I actually had that happen to me once. It I don't know how it got turned, but that happened to me once, and that was cleaning. That was awful.
Yeah, our family has not had good luck with fish. Your dad had a fish tank, and they kept jumping out into the windowsill and onto the floor and everything else while we were gone. And he'd come in and find his fish dead. So that should have been a clue for me not to. Yeah.
Yeah, he had these cichlids, man. I mean, it got to the point him and my mom would go on a cruise, and it would be like, goodbye, pets, because he just didn't know which one was going to. I mean, between Justin and I mean, we were older. I mean, but
goodbye, pets.
It's something would almost happen.
all of you aren't going to make it, so Aw.
It was, I mean, and it was never like it was always like freak accidents. Like my mom had this frog, and his name was Bud or something. Anyways, my brother didn't realize he died, and he just kept spritzing him with
Aw.
like he was like called my mom. He's like, he's just sitting there. And Justin was a teenager. I mean, he was younger teen. He's just sitting there. I keep giving him like spritzing him, and I gave him his worms, but he's not even eating them. I'm like, Justin, he's dead.
Aw.
He's dead. I was like, oh gosh. And he's like, oh, not another one. So my brother, like, this is probably like a sad story, but we don't let Justin watch pets at all because it's, I mean, like, he's watched pets at our house and things, I mean, natural causes happen. His wife went out of town, natural causes happen. My mom, he goes, so we just like, it's like, Mom, can you watch the pets? Because I'm just not even going to ask Justin.
Mhm.
And it's never his fault. And he's just like, just don't ask me, please. But yeah, my dad's fish, he had these cichlids, and they would like, I mean, it's like they chose death. I mean, they would like jump out of the. Anyways.
I don't remember how many he lost. It was something else.
Oh goodness, I know. This was such a random topic. I'm so sorry.
But then we had the Pidge, the blue parakeet, when we had the house fire.
Oh yeah.
Aw.
Pidge liked you, Jim.
That bird did not like me, Bill.
He made it out of the fire.
He made it out of the fire.
I had to go back in and get him, but he made it.
He made it. He was never the same.
Oh, that's
though.
good. Good story.
Yeah, he made it. He didn't like me. He I mean, I
What'd
was
you
just
do
like,
to him?
but I knew. It's like you knew I was. I just he was so interested. I would just stare at him, and I think he was just very uncomfortable. But he did not like me.
Looking back, I kind of feel like it was the niece at the dentist office with Nemo shaking the bag of the fish. That poor bird. We moved into the apartment and he got out of the cage. Tony was trying to catch him. He ended up grabbing a pair of the girl's jeans and threw on top of it. And he wiggled out from underneath that because it knocked him to the floor. And he wiggles out from underneath that, goes flying off and hits the bunk beds and about knocked himself out. I mean, if he didn't have brain damage when I got him, he did towards the end. But he still lasted another, 4 or 5 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a long time for a
It
parakeet.
was just, if you went near the cage, he was in the corner like shaking, like, what are you going to do to me? So,
He did. He was never the same after the house fire. Like a smoke alarm would go off, and he just was like, he was never the same. Poor guy. I know. We sound like horrible pet owners. I promise you, we like the goats and stuff. They're all taken care of. They're loved.
we love them too much. That's the problem.
Okay.
They are.
Note to self. No, don't let them watch any of your pets.
Don't
Right.
call Embarkation Nation to watch your pets.
Well, I don't know. I have to go babysit. I have to go dog sit my youngest daughter's pets.
Yeah. That could be a whole nother.
Fur babysit ours.
Yeah, but ours is a little bit more behaved. She may be broken, but she's behaved compared to hers.
Bill, do you have any pets now?
No, it was too sad. I had a dog, and 15 years or so, and I had to put him down, and it was just so painful. It's like I don't want to go through that pain anymore.
Like
It was like he was part of the family. I mean, it wasn't like that wasn't a dog. It was just part of the family.
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Right.
that's we had to put one down. We had her for
About 13, 14.
yeah, and it still bugs me as of today. Be wondering if I did the right thing. But after we did that, I said no more pets. But then
Yeah.
our daughter was in the process of moving, and they picked up a stray or something like that and brought it over here while they could move, and then they would search to see where the owner was, and we ended up growing attached to it. Come to find out, it had a chip, and we contacted the agency that had adopted her out, and when they found out that we had her, they said, whatever you do not give it back to the owner. Apparently the owner was a 21-year-old dude who had adopted it for his 16-year-old girlfriend
Oh boy.
and dumped it at my daughter's apartment complex, and we wound up with her, and
Now she's living her best. She's like the most loved dog.
she's spoiled.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
That's like,
I would have rather not had another one, but if we had to have one, I'm kind of glad we got her.
Yep.
yeah. We're kind of the same way. I say that like we adopted a dog, and like when we went on the cruise, my mom was working a lot. Like in January, I was working a lot, and my mom, when we went on the cruise, my mom took our dog Coco over there. Well, Coco like was living her best, and I was working so much that it was like, okay, let's give it a couple more weeks. Well, Coco's still at my mom's and living her best, and yeah, it's cool because Chloe still gets to see her and stuff. But like my mom, like her dog was passing away, and she has another dog, and so when Jethro was what, 15, Lisa?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a Mastiff German Shepherd mix, so he was a big boy, and then she has a Great Dane. So when we got Coco over there, it brought back the puppy in her, and it just was a better situation for us and my mom, and so we don't have any dogs here. And we had a guinea pig, a hamster, and some goats. The goats are like our dogs.
Is Chloe still looking for the?
No. We moved past that. Like she forgot.
Okay.
So what happens when you go like have hot chocolate and you're going to put marshmallows in the hot chocolate?
I haven't thought of that.
or make some s'mores.
Oh, she'd probably be like, Marshmallow, where are you? And I'll be like,
Oh,
she's on vacation.
she went to the farm.
She's on the cruise. She'll be back. Well, we left our beloved, so we have a stuffed rabbit, and oh gosh, I can't think of their name. Howie Cruz gave us advice, like, hey, when you take your beloved stuffies, like, don't leave them behind. Oh, we've never left Bunny. Guess what we did in Boston?
No.
Yes, but it was at Grammy's, and we had to keep her so busy. Like it was just chaos trying to leave. Our flight was at 7 a.m, trying to get up at 4 to get to Boston Logan. And anyways, Bunny got left on the bed, and Grammy shipped her that day. And it was like, oh, please don't ask about Bunny. Please don't ask about Bunny. And she did ask about Bunny, and we were like, she's on vacation. She's like, on vacation? We're like, yeah, Bunny's, she'll be back. She's on vacation. And Andrew's mom like paid to ship that bunny to us as fast as she could. And anyways, Bunny came in the mail, and I was like, I had her like waiting for Chloe, like on the, like at the door when she walked in from school. I was like, look who came back from vacation. And she was like, Bunny.
Wow.
I told Andrew, I'm like, you need to buy that thing at AirTag. Because we lose it on a cruise ship. That's going to be not so easy for us. Uncle Dave has 2 adopted dogs, a red leopard Catahoula and a black lab. Oh, those are good dogs, both of them. They're the absolute best. You're correct, Bill. They are family. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dory is the favorite daughter. moved ahead of the little one, so.
Well, that's because they moved out. She's still here.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, we've been on for an hour and a half. Did y'all want to keep going, or y'all?
I stay up all night, so it doesn't matter to me.
You're fine. We might talk about happier topics, but
Fluffy.
This is supposed to be fun topic, guys, of embarrassing stories. Hey, Keisha.
Keisha's in the house.
Hey.
Hi, Keisha. How are you doing tonight? I hope you're doing well.
Trying to think what else was occurring.
I know there's some embarrassing ones, but I can't think of them.
I know. I'm trying to think too. Like of.
I didn't have any.
You didn't have any-
My kids were all so good. Honestly, just no bad stories. School, never got in trouble in school. It's just never any problems. I've been lucky. I mean,
Yeah.
to this day, just good kids.
Yeah.
I agree. Like Chloe, I guess it's not so much that she's bad, but like just things that she says is just like goodness. Like announcing that Andrew pooped on a plane. Like that was just it was funny. When we were not in the situation, like looking back in the car and out of the airport, I was like, that was funny. In the moment, it was like, just get me off this plane.
Don't feed them prunes.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Told you not to.
It was baby food, and I thought it was good. But no,
Trying to think.
Hmm.
Someone we know and love, Jen. She standing at the grocery store and started talking to someone about his tattoos and how long he had to sit to get, like, I don't remember if it was full body tat or if it was a sleeve or what. And he just kind of looked at her and went, yeah, it took about 3 years. And I said, was it all black ink or was it colored? And she goes, no, it was all black. Yeah, he probably did take 3 years to get that one from the time he got in to he made Bond. And she was just like, what? I said, yeah, that was an inmate tattoo. And she went, yeah.
Oh boy. That's another thing, like trying to explain things to Chloe, like I said, the marshmallow situation, like trying to explain Chloe,
Mhm.
like in ways it's like, oh baby, we'll talk about that another day, hun. Like,
Yeah, and you don't want to say, oh, well, Marshmallow went to sleep, because then when she realizes that she didn't wake up, she'll be afraid to go to sleep. So you have to be careful about things like that too. And it's like, what's the right thing to say, and how do I say it that I don't scare her while trying to explain it? But
well, she needed to clean her room anyway, so I was like, pick up all your toys, just keep looking. Like, I asked
maybe
if we should get another one, but we're cruising so much now. Like the less pets we have, the better.
yeah,
Like, and
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, we had Marshmallow for a good while, but I mean, she was a great guinea pig, but I think she was diabetic. Like that thing drank water like nobody's, but like it was the neediest guinea pig. Like she drinks a lot of water, and like I was like, Mom, like, is it normal? Like she was like, that's not normal. But anyways, that wasn't what was needy about her. Like you couldn't walk by her because Chloe would like share her like blueberries with her. You couldn't walk in the room without like that thing like being alert, thinking it was getting a treat. I'm like, no, baby, she needs a diet. Like she was getting a little overweight, and I was like, Chloe, quit. And she was just like, then she was like very needy guinea pig. Like you couldn't walk in the room without her being like just ready for love. And Chloe was perfect for it. Chloe would give her the right amount of attention. We just had to limit how many treats Chloe would give her. Because Chloe would love to, like, oh, here's another blueberry. I'm like, Chloe, those are for you. Not the guinea pig. We're giving her treats. Keisha said my daughter would embarrass me every time she opened her mouth before age 5. Yep. Like telling one neighbor his tummy was so big, like a baby was in there. Oh no.
Hey.
Oh no.
That hits too close to home.
Yeah. My friend's son would do that. Like he would be like, are you pregnant? Like not to me, but to like another person. Like, are you pregnant too? And And she was like, "No, baby, no, we don't just randomly ask people if they're. Please don't do that." Yeah, it's kids. You never know. You never know what they're gonna say. It's
That's
Mhm.
for sure.
well, I think I kind of don't really have a whole. I mean, we could have just open chat. I feel like I'm kind of reaching, but if y'all had a topic, I know we're gonna try to talk next week about international travel and cruise ports, but
Yeah, some of the things you can and can't do, and I've already had some people ask me about some stuff.
yeah.
Yeah,
We'll see if Bill wants to join us on that one too, since he does a lot of the long cruises.
We're ready for Carnival to open the dives back up. There's one in Cozumel, but it's a beginner dive. Is that where I've got you booked, Cozumel? And then the other two ports we're going to have to go out if he's going to go. So
yeah. The one dive is usually a Discover Scuba for people who haven't dove before.
Right. Yeah, I know that I know it seems like they're maybe going through some insurance things too, because it seems like they're kind of reducing some of the risks, which I can understand. I mean, it's probably expensive for one, and two, maybe working out how to have your own coverage.
Well, some of it too, I'm also noticing that it's the time that they're getting into the ports. A lot of the dives go out. You need to be there at 8 o'clock or earlier, and they're not getting into the ports till 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. And so a lot of the dive shops are just like, yeah, we're already gone by then.
Right, that makes sense.
That's the problem I've been running into so far. I did manage. I've got one place in Naha where I might be able to dive, and I know there's at least 2 places in Japan because we get one port's like 6 to 6 or something like that, 6 to 10, or
I think Tokyo's all day.
so should be able to do one there because we'll be getting in the port at 6 a.m. So that'll
Nice.
That's good.
and I may actually get to do a night dive there because we're not leaving till like 10 o'clock at night.
That sounds like fun.
I do. I wish more cruises spent time at night in the ports.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people are afraid of dealing with other cultures and stuff like that. And you can't do that. You can't. Yeah, yes, you can.
Yeah.
That's really not every place, but
Exactly.
Yeah, well, some of the stuff is like in Honolulu, they had the fireworks, so that was kind of cool to see them.
Yep.
We went to, was it Cabo, where we did the Rhythm of the Nights or whatever?
Yeah, that was really cool.
That was a really good excursion, and we were the ship was actually we weren't late, but we were cutting it pretty darn close because they were sitting there blowing the horn trying to get us to, and they were in contact with the ship, letting them know, hey, we're fixing to pull into dock. They'll be on the ship. And they even said, hey, we've been in touch with the captain. He says, you guys need to get to the ship immediately.
you darn pier runners, you.
Yeah. Well, no, not really. I mean, technically, we got on the ship. We were back on the ship before we were supposed to be, but it was cutting it close.
It was way too close. Yeah.
I think we were pulling in. The boat was pulling into the pier, and the ship was going to be leaving in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
That's a little too close for comfort for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've never cut it that close. I've always been back early, just an hour early.
Mm-hmm.
But I also know that if you're having inclement weather, if you travel like during hurricane season, sometimes they'll leave the port early because a hurricane is coming in. They to get people safe, they have to pull off early. So I mean, you do have to do a little research, a little homework and just be prepared for just about anything.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why I'm leery of going with anybody else. I mean, he's done some outside stuff with some other companies, but I'm just like, yeah, I'll pay a little more and make sure it's Carnival or just hang around in the port, you know.
Well, I'll watch what time that we're going to be back and stuff like that. If there was one dive that we could have done, and we would have been back in just like right at an hour before the ship left, and that to me that was cutting it too close, so we didn't do it. I want to get back anywhere from 2 to 3 hours before the ship leaves. That way, that leaves plenty of time for incidental stuff that you didn't count on. I mean, 3 hours we should be able to figure out something and get back to the ship as long as it's not too far away.
Right.
There was one dive shop that was over an hour away, and I was just like, nah, ain't doing that. That's just too far. I mean, there's no way to plan on that one. If you're an hour away and something breaks down, there's no telling when you're going to get back.
Right.
You know?
Well, there was that one, they were on a Carnival excursion and their bus broke down. They sent a bus out to get them, and then that one broke down. And it was just crazy. I thought, wow.
Yeah, but the ship had to wait for them.
Thankfully, it was Carnival, so they had to wait.
Actually, I think Destination Fun was saying they don't have to. They just have to get you. They can get you to the next port. Because if you're out too long and it's costing too much money, they do some calculations in math. So they may not
So they
wait.
get fined if you're not out of port when you're supposed to, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a little bit of leeway, but probably not hours.
Right. Right. So that's why, I mean, it's good just to kind of have your travel insurance and
It is.
we try to book
Well,
it at Carnival or whoever now, but
see, Carnival insurance, travel insurance, it's good to have, but they want their money up front, and insurance,
Right.
you have to look for reimbursement.
right.
And so, people make Bruce. I know you're in here. Travel insurance is good to have, but if you're stuck someplace and they want their money up front, good luck.
So it's good to take an open credit card or something you need.
Well, that's something,
What's
something.
that?
I know, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. That's what you're supposed to do.
Matter of like bulging at the seams, you know.
I'd worked really hard to pay all mine down, but here I am creeping up again. I booked an excursion on the NCL cruise, and it was like $377. I was like, ooh, I'm gonna put that one on the credit card.
I don't know. Does it seem like these excursions are getting very expensive now?
Yes, that's the conversation
just every-
we're having.
But you can do them cheaper, like off the ship a lot of times. But people are afraid. I don't really book any excursions. So I booked the helicopter ride through Carnival, but it was actually cheaper than going directly to the company. That's the first time I've ever seen that. But again, I don't book anything through the cruise line. I always go off the ship and book the same thing for 30% off, 40% off of what Carnival was charging. My situation is a little different because I used to have a part-time for Delta, and I worked long enough there part-time that I get free flight benefits. So if I get left on the island, I can fly home anytime I want. So again, my situation is a little. I don't worry about where I'm going. If I decided I'm not getting back on the ship, I don't, because I can just catch a flight back. I just got to get my stuff off. So I just know it's the price of these excursions. But that's why a lot of times, like now, I just want to go to a beach, listen to some music, and enjoy some of the scenery. Maybe walk around the neighborhood and get grab a bite to eat.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's so before Chloe, we would kind of do the same thing. Maybe not go through the cruise company, whatever it was. We would try to find it cheaper, go do our own thing. But since we've had Chloe, like I worry about us being distracted parents, and just
Yes.
we need somebody to kind of just make sure we're accounted for sometimes. Like, so that's why we do it now more than ever. But the cost is ridiculous. I mean, we're taking a catamaran over to Joost Van Dyke, and it doesn't even include free rum punch. I didn't see in the description. I'm like, okay. Anyways, Uncle Dave says his dad retired from Delta as a mechanic.
Yeah. The flight benefits are different. I mean, I literally look at flights like, a lot of people look at buses. It's like, fly out to Las Vegas for a day. Okay. Find a cheap room and then fly back the next day. And that's why, like, when you see me booking like a 2-day cruise in Margaritaville, I don't think much about it because I'm not paying for the airfare to get down there.
Right.
And that just helps me out. And then now you throw Carnival's cheap cruises over there. It's crazy. As a matter of fact, go to Australia. I flew first class for $32.
Wow.
Nice.
That's awesome.
It saves a ton of money. Otherwise, maybe I wouldn't have went.
Right.
I'm like, hold on, let me go look at Delta, see if they got any job openings.
I swear it's the greatest job ever. If you like travel, it's the greatest job ever. Other than having to deal with the public, other than that, I mean, again, I just, I was talking to somebody and they was talking about like somebody should fly down and see somebody in Texas, and I'm like, I should hop on a plane right now, just go knock on the person's door.
I'm like, welcome
I'd
in,
do it.
Bill. Hi.
I'd do it for a cheeseburger.
Hi, Bill. How you doing?
Yeah, but no, Delta. I mean, again, I don't do it now. I used to because I retired after 10 years. If even part time, you still get flight benefits for life. I used to be. I mean, I should have been an ambassador for Delta because I thought it was the greatest thing ever, and just the travel that you do, and I mean, there's no cost like my kids and stuff like that, and you want a funny kid story? I give you a funny kid story. So I worked at Delta. So I took the kids over to Dubai for Thanksgiving. And we're in Dubai. We're having a good time. And we're flying back. And my daughter asked me, Dad, are you going to cook a turkey? And this, I think it's like Thanksgiving Day. We're getting back like Thanksgiving Day. I'm like, no, I don't think so. I said, Dad, you always ruin the holiday. I'm like, what? You're just leaving Dubai. How did I ruin the holiday? Because I won't cook a turkey? I was hot.
Oh, Justin and I did that to my dad. So he had taken us over to Maui, and we were on that road to Hana with the waterfalls, and we were like, we're bored. Another waterfall? Really? We were
right.
I'm bored. Like, now I would do anything to go like visit Hawaii and Maui, and my dad's like, you're bored. Like, you not see I'm bored, Dad. He was so yeah, but I can't imagine your face, Bill. Like, you ruined the holiday.
And she said, well, no, that's not what I meant. Oh, that's what you said. No, I don't. I mean, I forget how long the flight was because we had to fly like through Atlanta. So we had to go from Detroit to Atlanta or Dubai to Atlanta and then Atlanta to Detroit. And she wanted to know, when we got home, let's say it's 8:00 in the morning or whatever, or whatever time it was, and wanted to know if I'm cooking a turkey.
That's too
What
funny.
Luby's is for.
Right.
Movies and furs.
Yeah.
I'll say with Denny's always, I think of Santa Claus where he burns the turkey.
Yeah. I've been there, done that. But anyway.
Denny's always open.
Well,
Chinese restaurants, Christmas and Chinese restaurant. Hey, it got to a point. That's what I was doing now. Thanksgiving it was never a good day. The Detroit Lions always play on Thanksgiving Day, so it's always been a football day. Like growing up, my mom would be cooking dinner, and the Lions come on about noon on Thanksgiving Day, and I mean that's what it was. I'd eat my dinner while I'm watching because she would make sure that it's done early, because she would get up 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and start cooking. And by 12:31, 2, I'm having Thanksgiving dinner already. While I watch the football game, of course.
That's kind of how we were too, because we would want to go do the Black Friday shopping. So like we would have Thanksgiving kind of early, and then like my mom and I were like organizing our plan on like what stores we were going to hit and what coupons and deals, and it became like a family affair for many years. Like my dad would guard the basket, my brother would get he would go get the movies and games because my dad didn't trust my mom and I to do that, and it was back when the DVDs and Blu-rays were new. And then my mom and I, like, we had a list, and so we would always do Thanksgiving dinner pretty early too.
Well, I tell you, I miss the days back when I was growing up. Thanksgiving, Christmas, everything shut down. Family spent time together.
I agree.
Yeah.
And now families don't spend any time together. Everybody has plans. It's a concert. It's this. It's that. It's Black Friday shopping and all this. I mean, I want to go back to the day. Let the people spend the holidays with their families instead of, coming to work and taking care of you. I just miss those days. I think those are just simpler days for people.
Yeah.
I do too. Walmart has been closed the last couple of years on Thanksgiving, and it's been nice. Because I think too, even because I'm like we don't really do the the shopping now, but used to, it was like, it didn't open on Thanksgiving. It was at Friday morning. So, like I said, we would, as a family, we would watch the parade. We would have early. My mom and I would plan, and my dad and Justin did something, probably play a video game or something, but and then the four of us, because my dad, like I said, he was the basket garter, and then like we all kind of had like our list, and like it was something we did as a family, like every Thanksgiving. Like if we didn't go to like Lisa and Tony's or my grandparents or something, that's what we did. And I just remember that so much. But then when it started getting earlier, like at midnight, it was like, oh, and then it started creeping it, and then it was like, then we're open on Thursday. I'm like, what do you mean? Like we kind of quit going after that. But I remember, just and we never got anything like crazy wild. But yeah, it was always fun.
I've only done like the Black Friday, or like one time I went to like a mall. It was like an outlet mall, maybe 50 miles outside Detroit, and I did it one time, and it was just so crowded. It was just incredible how crowded it was. Friday, that is like just after midnight, because they started getting crazy. They started opening up the night, but whatever time it was right after midnight. Then they opened up, but now it's opened up on Thanksgiving Day actually. But this was right after midnight, so we got up there and just going around shopping, and I'm like, I would never do this again.
Yeah,
they had pretty good deals. The Levi place I remember had some good prices on jeans and some shoes. But again, I'd never do it again. And I'm like, I'd rather just spend time home with the family. And again, Thanksgiving Day, football is all day long. Perfect day. Christmas, same thing. I used to feel bad for the athletes. I'm like, oh, too bad they can't be with their family on Christmas. But I'm entertained.
Right.
Right.
Well, they were probably up there in the big mega suite, and they all had Christmas together up there.
Yeah, probably so. I mean, when you're making that kind of money, I could live without being available on the holidays. I had a job where I had to work holidays sometimes. So
they do. They do stuff for their families, and they get like special tickets per game and stuff. A friend of mine, her nephew played for the Cowboys, and then I think he's with Cleveland now, the Browns. I think that's a team, right? Yeah, he but I know that when he was with Dallas, she would go up, and like her and her sisters and stuff would get together and make dinner, and then they would all go to the game, cheer them on, and then as soon as everybody got back to the house, they would have dinner and stuff. But they do a lot of good things for the players' families.
That's cool.
My son-in-law is like, oh, instead of having to do all the cooking, why don't we just order from Cracker Barrel? And I'm like, we could, but turkey and dressing is still turkey and dressing, but it's not.
I like working. I like cooking.
Yeah, it's not my mom's dressing, you know, and that's
Yeah.
when we were on the ship for Thanksgiving. I was like, oh, I really missed her dressing, you know.
Oh,
And
that
the deviled eggs, nobody makes them like I do, you know. So I'd be like, oh, but what about this side? Let's make this side, and I might as well just go ahead and cook it. But the thing is, Christmas or Thanksgiving, either one, you get dinner when I get it ready. It's not, I'm going to have it ready in time for you to watch a ball game. It's like, it's on the table. Come on. It's midnight now. Okay. Well, it's finally ready. Come and eat.
Yeah.
I've been in the kitchen all day. You're
if you want to eat.
Yeah. We've kind of said the same thing though. Like we used to cook. My mom would cook and stuff, but we've gotten any more. Well, my sister-in-law loves to cook. I do not like to cook at all. Like that's not my passion. I just do enough to get us. Like I make things occasionally, but I'm just not a huge like. That's not my passion. Like it's just kind of get dinner on the table and that's done. But my sister-in-law, like she loves it. Like she loves to cook. She loves to do. Like she goes all out. Like I mean, garnishings and I mean she just loves it. And so she normally does a lot of our dinner. We're just like my mom and I are like, how much is the bill? And then we like give her cash. Like we'll pay for the food if you want to cook it. Because
Yeah.
like and my mom, you know, she made dinner for so long. It's kind of nice for her to pass the torch. And I did it a few years. I hosted, but I just don't love it. Jen like loves it. And so but she goes all out. But I guess a couple years ago, I was like, why don't we just order in? And my sister-in-law, I mean, you would have thought I murdered somebody. She was like, no, I will make the dinner. I'm like, okay, as long as you're okay cooking it, I'll bring my normal stuff. And
Well, it's awesome that she carries on the tradition like that.
she
So
does. Like Jen,
Yeah.
you know Jen, she's real good.
I hear she's an amazing cook. So
She is an amazing cook. Oh my gosh. She the other day, like she'll cook things just to sit, like, hey, can you try this? What? Like, of course. But like I'm like she loves cooking that much. Like she's just like, hey, I tried this. You want, you know, I sent it home with Chloe. I mean, we're grateful. But I'm like, wow, I just don't love cooking that way. But I like travel that way. And you know, I could talk to her all day about cruising, and she's like, "Okay, yay, Labor Day cruise sales." She's like, "Great."
I told you I became a TA, and I always thought, oh man, I would make a good TA because I love talking about like cruising and traveling. And then I come to realize I don't. I like telling people my stories, but I don't like listening to other people, and I don't like people that don't think the same way that I think. Like, no, you got to get there a couple of days early. No, we're going to go on the same. No, you know you don't. Okay, I'm telling you don't. What kind of idiot would do it? I mean, certain day because I've done it. But again, I work for Delta, so I'll book I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. There's a cruise line. I mean, I'm sorry. There's a site, and it's for like the travel industry, and a lot of time, cruises and hotel stays and all inclusive, they give a special rate for like the airline industry, travel industry. I don't know about travel agents, but travel industry, and I belong to that group. Right now, there's a Latin dance theme charter cruise November 9th. I think like 4 days out of, I don't know, Tampa. Matter of fact, it's out of Tampa. It's on the Paradise. That's what's stuck in my head because it's on Paradise. Anywho, $59. And you're right. You're right. So, and I fly for free. Huh. I can swing that.
New vlogs. Make sure you're subscribed.
The problem with Tampa, because I fly standby. Tampa is like one of the hardest places to get out of. I mean, Delta flies out like to 5 cities from Tampa. It's like Atlanta, Minneapolis, Las Vegas, Detroit, and probably someplace else on the East Coast. And it's so hard to find a seat on the airplane because again, when you fly standby, you have to get creative. Sometimes, I mean, I've flown from Florida to New York to Minneapolis to get back to Detroit standby. So it took hours. But again, I don't mind being in the airport, but it took hours and it was free. And it's like last minute. I mean, when I say free, it's like last minute free. It's like just something, spur of the moment deal came up. And I mean, that's kind of what I do. I mean, I just travel, and I'm thinking about this cruise, but I just hate Tampa. So I would have to bite the bullet and buy like airfare, more than likely one way. I wouldn't have to buy a round trip because getting down there is no problem. It's just leaving Tampa, which is a nice airport. I had no problems. Close to the port. I mean, it's a perfect airport, except for is this Delta doesn't fly enough from there.
Right.
Get a job, part-time job at Delta, people. I'm telling you, and probably any airline, but all I know about is Delta.
I applied. I need to go follow up, and then I'm going to apply some more.
I literally worked summers. I worked summers because I didn't work. I just worked part-time, and I had the flight benefits year round. So then, retired. It's like I'm, flying everywhere and doing whatever. And I meet you in Hawaii. Okay, let's go. Las Vegas, sure. Stop by.
Bill, sometimes, great ideas and voices come to you when you're least expecting them. They can be life-changing, and I think this could be one of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. I mean, it's tough because I had the job back when I had another job. So, I mean, I'm literally working like 2 jobs over the summertime. I mean, it was hard. But when I was done, if I could get time off from my other job, I was able to travel to go wherever I wanted to go. And again, if the seats are available, and you can see the loads of airplanes. So if you a Delta flight, I can tell you exactly how many seats are sold, how many first class seats are available, who's on the upgrade list. So I can see everything. So I know whether or not I'm going to get first class. So if I'm going over to Australia, I just look to see, which way to go. I went to London to see the Lions play over in London, and I could have flew from Detroit. But if I flew to Boston and caught the flight to London, I could get first class. So you know what I did? I flew from Detroit to Boston and caught the flight from Boston to London and flew first class.
That's awesome.
People walking by me, I'm drinking my little champagne. I'm got my little. They walk by me, I turn my head, and had literally no money in my pocket. I mean, like,
that's even better.
Right.
The best.
I had a great time.
Hey, Darren. Hope you're doing well. He's got some Germany travel. I'm sure he's got some like fun tips and tricks.
Well, that's like Germany. I mean, Darian, I always want to go to Germany. I'm trying to make it over there soon. She's talking about like buddy passes. Buddy passes on Delta are too expensive. They literally a buddy pass to fly standby to Las Vegas from Detroit is $300 or $320. That's the fly standby. So you don't even know if you're getting on. You'll get your money back, but you don't even know if you're getting on. For $320, I can buy a ticket to Vegas. And I mean, again, that's just ridiculous.
Wow.
Buddy passes, I heard, not since I've been working there, but I heard they were a lot better where, reasonable prices. If you're flying overseas, maybe, but again, you have different categories as far as workers, retired workers, buddy passes. Buddy passes fall on the bottom of the list. So if there's 20 people there and you're on the bottom of the list, maybe there's not enough seats for you. So you might have to stay there for a while if you want to fly for free, or pay the couple of $1,000, $1,000, $1,500, whatever it is.
Right.
Well, we were flying one time, and when it was my fault, we were late to the airport, but we were standing in line, and we flew so rarely at the time we didn't realize we had to check in because we were waiting to talk to the person at the counter, and apparently they had kiosks you were supposed to check in. So we were technically there on time, but because we were standing in line and didn't check in through the kiosk, we were late. And so the one time we had,
First class.
he had gotten us first class tickets for our anniversary. And they were like, oh, well, sorry, we can't get you on. You can't fly without your luggage and blah, blah. And we're like, okay, so we're waiting to find out what to do. Well, our luggage flew without us on the first class flight. Yeah. So we ended up being routed from Oklahoma City to Dallas. And then we're sitting there in Dallas and we can't get a standby flight. So I called and I was trying to rearrange, and they quoted me like $600 a person to get from Dallas to Miami. And then while I'm on hold and she's trying to key it in and everything, she came back and she goes, okay, well, it's going to be $900 a person. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. You told me, oh, well, the price went up. Of course it did.
Right.
So I have family in Fort Worth. So I called my cousin's ex and said, hey, we need a ride. So she came and Ubered us from DFW to Love Field, and we hopped on Southwest and flew to Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
Then had to go to the Miami airport to pick up our luggage because, like I said, it flew without us. We couldn't fly without it, but it made it on the plane.
Right.
And then,
yeah, we had to rent a car, and then they charged us a fee for not turning it back into the airport there.
Yeah, so we didn't get refunded on the first class. Then it was a $200 rental fee from Fort Lauderdale to Miami. And then the new flights in Southwest, I mean, it was
a nightmare. What I didn't understand was that the reason it was such a cluster in DFW was we get to DFW and they had to cancel like 2 or 3 flights to Miami on that airline. And so you had all these people that were on all these other flights flying standby now. And so they said, yeah, the chance of you getting out of DFW today is next to nothing. Well, our cruise leaves tomorrow, so we have to get out of DFW.
Yeah.
We thought we would play it safe and get there a day early, but I just don't understand why they would route us to an airport where they knew the flights had been canceled. Why didn't they send us to a different airport where, there wasn't such a backlog on stuff?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. But how was it getting from Fort Lauderdale to Miami? Because we're kind of, when we fly in, it wasn't bad.
Mm-mm.
No,
y'all
we
had a rental car though?
Yeah, we got the rental car at the Fort Lauderdale airport and then drove it down and turned it in at the Miami airport. And then caught a ride from Miami to, back to the hotel, and then had to catch a ride from the hotel to the port the next morning.
Okay. Yeah, because I don't think we're going to do a rental car. We booked our flights from San Antonio to Fort Lauderdale because it was much cheaper than going to Miami. But our hotel is near Miami airport. But I know they have the Bright Line, that runs back and forth, and it's like, what, $10 a person or something, but I wasn't sure.
I did.
Yeah.
It was easy to fly in. The flights to Miami were full, so going to Fort Lauderdale, they weren't as full. So I would go to Miami, and then, as you said, the Bright Line to Miami. I mean, it's an hour trip. It's not long at all.
Okay.
And it was easy. I mean, the hardest part was probably walking from the airport to get to where the Bright Line is. I mean, it's a good little ways.
Okay.
It's still within like the airport property, but it's not close.
Okay. Yeah, because we were kind of like thinking about it because we had a hotel room in like right there along that boardwalk area in Miami. It's like the Brickell area, but that room just for a regular room was $450. Well, then I was on Expedia the other night and I could get the presidential suite at Doubletree for $200.
Uh-huh.
So at the Miami airport. So I was like, which one are we doing there? So, I mean, we could get the cheaper room, but it was like whatever special I had, like with my Expedia, level or whatever. I'm like gold or platinum, whatever it is there. So I was like, oh, okay, let's do that. So we're like I said, we're at the Miami airport. We're no longer on that boardwalk area, but I was like, man, I could book 2 hotel rooms for the cost of like a regular Holiday Inn Express right there, you know. So anyways,
Stay at the Ramadan.
yeah, I could. I'll probably change my hotels around a couple more times, but it's just I can't justify $450
Mm-mm.
for Miami.
Hey, I'm sorry. I'm not to interrupt the conversation. Hey, Bruce, are you still on here? I have a question for you. Okay. I'm done.
No, you're well, I'm just happy you're here. Both of you. I was a little anxious earlier, thinking I might be by myself.
One of the things that after we got back from that cruise, we checked in. We tried to check in, and it was American Airlines, is who it was. They had us. They sent us to DFW, but we ended up going from Southwest from left field, so we could get to Florida in time.
Yeah.
Well, we get back off the cruise. Well, a round trip, the tickets that I booked were a round trip on American Airlines. Well, we get to the airport to check in on American Airlines, and they said, well, you can't check in here. And we're like, well, why not? Well, come to find out what it was is they were still showing us being DFW. And so here we are trying to check in to get for our return trip. And it was throwing their whole system for a loop. They finally ended up having just to cancel our tickets and reissue them because they couldn't because of the way things worked out. They could not check us in under those reservations because
we never made it.
we never left according to them, we never left DFW.
Right.
That's interesting.
Yeah, we learned a lot on that trip.
That trip was a nightmare.
But I will say, when we cruised out of Miami, when we finally made it to the terminal, we literally just walked right through. And we were, an hour early or something like that. And they're like, just come on through. They're like, no, we're not. Because, Galveston and, Seattle is like, oh, your time's not here. You go wait. And they were like, no, come on through. Come on. And it was like, our boarding time was like 11:30. And at 10, we were at Guy's Burger. So.
And I think that was the first time we had dealt with facial recognition. And so when we got off the cruise, instead of having to go through all that custom stuff like at Galveston in the past, it was just like, here, just walk through. Okay, you're done. Go on.
I love the facial recognition. I love it.
That's it. Yeah, you're done. It's like, oh, cool, man. This is great. And just boom, we were gone. We loved it. But getting there and leaving were nightmares.
That's awesome, Keisha. Keisha received a free annual subscription for TripAdvisor Plus from her Target Circle program. No strings attached. Great travel deals and discounts. That's awesome.
Very nice.
I love it when people are getting good deals. I mean, I do. I get so excited for people when they're talking about travel and just, I mean, it could be anybody or anything. Like if they're going somewhere, I'm like, oh, what hotel are you staying at? Oh, like I love it. Like, anyways, that's exciting to see, Keisha. Look, I love when people are getting good deals.
And I think I'm probably one of the only people. I don't really care about the hotel that much. I want a clean, decent hotel, but I don't spend any time on it. Like the pre-cruise, I don't spend much time in the room. So, what would I do with the presidential? Now, if I had kids, it's a kind of a different story. You want a little more room because you have kids. But I just need a room for the night because I'm not going to be in the room, especially
right. Well, Andrew's whole family is coming on that cruise, and there's like a group of 52. And I'm not expecting them to be in our room, but I figure mom, brother, Mark, I'm sure they're all going to stop in because Andrew's got 2 stepbrothers and their significant others, and then Andrew's brother, and then so I figure, I don't know, we may change our mind, but we've never stayed there either. And I was like, yeah, it's available, it's cheaper than what we had. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's talking about she has to be comfortable where she lays her head.
I understand that too. I mean, I like, I know we've kind of joked around. Like, as soon as I book a cruise or something, I'm looking at the hotel. Like,
Really?
catch me without a hotel room. Oh yeah.
You're gonna have a hotel room. Now again, it might be further away than what you want because like the Booze Cruise, I still haven't booked. I'm gonna book. Bruce secured some rooms. I guess Bruce is not in here now. Thanks, Bruce. Anywho, he was here all night, and then when I had a question for him, he's gone. But he
Right.
had some
He'll be
hotel on a Holiday Inn on the West Bank, which I mean, I think they got a rate of like $140 a night, which is not bad. So I'll probably stay there. I was gonna come down 2 nights early, but I'm probably gonna just do 1 night early.
Okay.
Along with buying 7 swimsuits for who does that? Well, again, I'm
Keisha.
sorry, Jennifer and Andrew. Yeah, you can't use the same swimsuit twice. Oh,
Hey, there is
Keisha needs a new swimsuit for every day.
nobody likes sand in their fanny cheeks. Okay, like, gotta change them out.
You have a room here. You wash them out. You hang them up on a little line they have in the shower.
Bill, I'm
You're
telling you,
good.
Or on the hooks.
they do not go on the same once they're wet and sandy. Like, they have to be washed.
That's a
You
good
just
thing
like
about
hang
the
them on
job.
the line and let them dry off.
I'm with Keisha on this one. Like,
I've known a lot of people like that. And it's like, Bill, how many swim trunks you have? One.
One.
No, what? One? You one per day or what? No, one.
even Andrew takes 2 or 3.
I know. I couldn't believe it. Andrew, come on, my guy.
My guy.
My guy.
Nobody likes sand in their fanny cheeks.
You wash them out. You bring them back to the room. There's a sink there. You literally wash them out, hang them on the line. Unless you're going to swim later on in the day in the hot tub, well, then you just move it around here and you clean them out in the hot tub.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know what, Bill? If I see you in the hot tub, I'm just walking by.
Gonna move on to
About the only time you see me in the hot tub is if I have a hot tub. Maybe if there's like one more person in it, maybe 2, depends how big the hot tub is. I do not get in hot. I don't get in hot tubs with a lot of people. I don't want shoulder to shoulder hot tub.
Keisha, I feel you. Listen, women swimwear is more snug, and that means I got a little more snuggly parts. Oh, Keisha. I feel you, Keisha. It's like you gotta tuck and anyways.
Oh my goodness. I noticed that a lot of women. I mean, they have 3 or 4 swimsuits and 19 pairs of shoes and 13 formal dresses. It's like it's a 7-night cruise. Now, how?
I have gotten 2 on the formal dresses. I take 2. One is like just in case there's a snag in the first one, or extra pizza.
They'd have to catch me again. I don't wear a dress, but they'd have to catch me with a snag.
Oh,
I think I've worn
I
the
was gonna
same
say-
dress for the last 5 cruises. So I just bought a new one for my going to San Antonio conference, and so I bought a new one for that I'll take with me, but I don't know that I'll wear it on the cruise.
Well, I hate YouTube because now apparently, since I'm vlogging and videotaping my cruises, I can't wear the same shirts over and over and over again on this cruise. I have certain shirts I wear when I wear it to the beach. It prints, "Dearly beloved, we are gathered here." It's purple. "Dearly beloved, we're gathered here today." Anyway, I always wear that because it's like oversized and it's perfect for the beach. But apparently, I can't do that because now I can't tell what beach I'm at, what cruise I'm on, because all my videos look alike. So now I got to buy new clothes to vlog. I'm trying to find new shirts to wear, so I'm not wearing the same shirt doing lives.
It's so
Well,
funny.
instead of doing a shirt, get like a pin or something that you can, or give something that you can wear on the shirt. That's not.
Different colored glasses, maybe,
Well, no, it's like
Blue
people, some people on the YouTube streets, they're very, very judgmental, watching how long somebody wears a shirt, how many days in a row somebody wears a shirt, and if there's any stains on the shirt. I know people are judgmental on here, so I got to wear.
I had to check Chloe had a yellow cupcake earlier, and I was like, oh, I can't get on YouTube with yellow cupcake.
Well, it looked like a leaf on your flower. So
I'm looking at my T-shirt. This T-shirt. Mike Tyson. He fought Galata in Detroit. So this T-shirt is probably 15 years old. Maybe more than that. 20. It's old. But the first thing I started looking at is, well, how does the neck look? Does it look like bacon, or can I get away with it? Because if people see it on YouTube, are they gonna talk about me? It's like, oh, you got that shirt on there. How dare him get on YouTube with that shirt on? So now every day before I get on YouTube. every day before I get on YouTube, I got to see what kind of clothes I got on.
I do too, Bill. We must have some mean friends. Wink, wink.
Well, I find out that if you're a mean person yourself, you tend to think everybody else is doing the same thing. So it's like if I talk about somebody with somebody's shirt, I can't dare wear that same shirt.
I had to today because it's like laundry day, and I was like, "What shirt did I wear the last
I
3
know.
lives?"
I've gone back to my videos to check.
I do too.
I'm like, well, I just wore that shirt. Or somebody
we have a washer and dryer, and so as long as it's probably not like I have my dinner here, it may be okay. But still, you just never know in these streets.
Right. Well, again, I wear a lot of T-shirts, so I don't dare wear 2 black T-shirts in a row because people think I had the same shirt on. So now I got to go find another color T-shirt. Then last time I wore an orange T-shirt, somebody hopped on my there. Hey, when did you get out of jail? And I'm like, what?
I can see that. Well, and then the other day you were
hey,
so nice.
Hey. No. I call myself dressing up for my live, and I had a little sweater vest, like Jim Tressel from Ohio State, which I can't stand Ohio State, but I had a long sleeve shirt, and but that's because of YouTube, because I don't buy clothes, and I'm looking at my closet and my shirts, and it's like, the pattern on this shirt is from 10 years ago. It's like I can't. I can't judge clothes. I don't know what clothes look like. To me, a shirt is a shirt. I can't tell that was last year's style. Gym shoes. I can't tell last year's style of gym shoes. Some people can apparently, and I can't. So anyway, I thought I was all dressed up, and people saying I look like Carlton from The Fresh Prince.
I did not say that.
I said some people. I didn't say you, but see, look.
I thought you looked good. I liked it.
Did you start dancing though?
Yes.
I should have did that day. I didn't think about it.
Oh, well, there's always next Thursday. So tune in.
Well, no, I'm not wearing that shirt anymore. So now I gotta go find some clothes that I can wear that's acceptable on YouTube.
Oh my goodness. Well, you can't wear hoodies either.
Can't wear a hoodie. I wore a hoodie one day. Middle of summer, I wore a hoodie. I'm in an air-conditioned house, but I had a hoodie on. Oh, why you got a hoodie on? Why you got a hoodie on? So I don't put my hoodie on. Even though it's 50 degrees here last night, I can't wear a hoodie because people want to talk about me wearing a hoodie in the summertime because they live in Texas and Florida and all these other places. Arizona.
I was wishing I had a hoodie about 20 minutes ago. I'm sitting here shivering.
The other day I went and put on a hoodie. It was before I was going live. I was like, oh, I gotta take that off before I get on.
Right.
I know Bill's gonna be the first one to say something about it.
No, because I understand. I wouldn't say anything about somebody having a hoodie on. Now I'm self-conscious. I can't even wear hoodies.
Bill, you crack me up. Oh, you're cracking Darian up too. My cheeks hurt.
The things I go through for YouTube.
Oh, your fancy dress jackets that have been on 4 cruises this year. Not that she's counting.
I know it's not 4 because I don't wear fancy dress jackets.
She's talking about. I'm sorry, I skipped a comment.
Oh.
Doug Parker from Cruise Radio wears black shirts all the time.
Yes, I mean, and that would be smart because again, nobody would know. But me, it's like I'm wearing the same shirt over and over again, and people, hey, what was that cruise? Matter of fact, even my thumbnail pictures, I've been told to take new thumbnail pictures because I'm using the same ones over and over and over and over again.
I know. I was working on thumbnails the other night, and then Tony's like, "I like this font better," and I'm like, "I'm not done yet. Give me a second."
Well, no,
Oh, yeah.
I didn't say nothing until you sent the different ones. I just compared them.
Yeah. Well, I had Andrew on the other side of me comparing them too, and I was like, "Give me a minute, guys. I'm not done. I'm sending y'all drafts." It was funny.
Life on
Goodness.
YouTube.
You
You're
know,
so smart on here. I can't even figure out how to change my name.
It's amazing. I just literally, and I couldn't do this before. I don't know why I couldn't do it. Maybe I should have asked somebody, but I had a job. So I had a I don't want to say a fake YouTube page, but I had a alias name, Derek Flint. A lot of you probably already subscribed to Derek Flint. And I couldn't change Derek Flint. I couldn't change the name. So I made up another profile, Warmstrong Adventures, but for some reason, like StreamYard, I can't broadcast to Warmstrong Adventures. So last night, the night before, or whatever, I'm playing around with Facebook, and I was able to change Derek Flint's name to Bill Armstrong. So if you get a request for Bill Armstrong, it really is me. It's not, I didn't get hijacked. It really is Bill Armstrong. But that way I'll be able to broadcast on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. I could do it from the other one, but it's like, it gets too weird. They see my face and Derek Flint. Who's Derek Flint? And that's the first question I get. Who's Derek Flint? Derek Flint, if you ever, old timers, James Coburn made a couple of movies called In Like Flint and Our Man Flint. They were like James Bond type movies. And I love those movies. Every year I couldn't wait for them to come on TV. They came on like once a year, and I couldn't wait for them to come on. So that was my alias, Derek Flint. Just so I didn't use my alias. Anywho, that's how Derek Flint became a thing. Because some of you people are so nosy. I can't give you on my personal page because you go back in my history and like, I saw Bill back 10 years ago. You should have saw Bill 15 years ago.
who does that? Who does that?
I don't know. So now I had to come up with but now I if you go to Bill Armstrong page, you can go back a little bit in my history. I kind of got rid of the too racy. Not all of it, but some of the racier stuff.
I know what I'm going to be scrolling through tonight.
Right?
Just joking. I'm joking.
It's pretty clean.
I'm just joking.
It's pretty clean now. But again, people only know like on YouTube what you tell them or your social media pages. So if you complain about everything in life and put all your problems on social media, people are going to know all your problems and everything. I mean, I don't care how long, you haven't done it or you haven't said it, but if you put it up there and didn't take it down, people are looking through it. So be careful what you put out there.
It's always out there. I know I've never had to learn the hard way, but I know people who have.
Yeah.
I've known people that have. I knew a guy who was trying to become a city. I probably told the story before. He's trying to become a city administrator. And he took a picture with a Confederate flag, and he had to answer for why he was taking a picture. He was like in his friend's basement. The flag was just like on the wall back here, so he's taking a picture right here. He wasn't taking a picture with the flag. The flag was just behind him, but he had to explain why the flag was there. I mean, are you racist? Are you this? Are you that? And he's like, no, I didn't even know I was there. I wasn't even paying attention. So I took a picture with the General Lee. People that know Dukes of Hazzard. It was a car that was painted in the Confederate flag.
Yep.
Well, after that happened, I had to go do the same thing. I'm like, well, hold on. People are gonna see me with this car. Are they gonna think something about me? And so I deleted it. People can see things and just go through your history and create problems for you.
It really
I have a strike on YouTube. I posted a video of a bullfight, which I'm from a distance. So I'm in Spain, and I post and from a distance. You can't see any kind of blood or anything. But what they do to weaken one of the bulls, they stab them with darts. These long, like, yard darts. Or if you ever seen I play the yard dart games, so they stab them to weaken the bulls. Well, they did that. Well, I had a video up there. I mean, it must have had a couple thousand views. Somebody must have complained, and they said no, it violated our anti-violence policy. So then I tried to run through this. Oh, well, this is for educational purposes. And they said, "Get out of here, sir."
Yeah, I remember. And you have to be, I mean, even tonight, like, I'm like, man, I hope people don't think, like, I shared some stories, it's like, man, I hope people don't think one way or another, parenting wise too, or anything. You got to be so careful.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I can remember my parenting. I can remember, I'm in a casino, and I always sit like by the aisleway. My son, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 years old, and he'll come by. Hey, you can come by the casino. I'll be sitting right here at the blackjack table. If you need me, just come get me. So it's like, yeah, my probably one of those parents who, man, he doesn't watch his kids. He was all right.
That's how my parents were.
He's still living.
That's how my parents were. We knew where to go find mom and dad. Like, is it, it's like you knew the time of day. Like, if it's morning, they're at brunch. If the casino's open, they're there.
It's simple. I didn't drink, so I wasn't like drunk. I'm just sitting there playing cards, and a lot of times, I'm winning a little money, and if I win money, they win money. I used to come home back to the room and pick a hand and let them pick a seat so that they make some money that way. And they used to love me going to the casino. They go, "Oh, my dad, did you go to the casino today?"
Exactly. My mom calls it the money fairy. The money fairy.
Yeah.
Remember, Lisa? The money fairy visited. That's like I have this. Oh,
go ahead.
I was gonna say I have this picture when my mom won the $12,000 at WinStar. I have this picture of Chloe, like, how old do you think she was, Lisa? Like, well, she was what, 6 months? Maybe.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe a year old. She was between about a year old and 18 months. And it's Chloe on the bed and then all these hundies. Just
right.
And then I was like, oh, I can't post that. They may think I'm involved in other things. I mean, I do live in South Texas.
I mean, yeah, you did cross state line, so
Well, I would show you the picture when I won 12,500, but again, it's a Polaroid, and then I get talked about, so I can't show my Polaroid. I can't show my Polaroid picture here on YouTube. I am showing you like, man, look at how much I won, and they like, is that a Polaroid? You're not looking at the amount I won. You're looking at the Polaroid.
I was looking at the slot machine. Like, our friend Sherry was the one. I was like, what machine is that? Hold on.
Triple Diamond.
Yeah.
It was Triple Diamond at the Rio in Vegas.
So I remember in Vegas, my mom and dad, that's when I learned you can't get off the carpeted area if you're under a certain age. If you're under, because right. My mom would be like, are you done yet? Like, go keep walking. And me and Justin would walk around one more time, this like circle, and then, Mom, are you done yet? No, not yet. Keep walking. And I was like, good God, how many steps are we going to do?
I don't know if I was that bad, but yeah, I mean, hey, you're okay.
That's what she said. You're fine. I do remember her and my dad came back to the room, and they had all these quarters, and they, we were teenagers. Like, we were, gosh, I mean, so when was that? It was like 2002. So I was probably like 15, 16. I mean, we were teenagers, and they came back with all these quarters, and we were staying at Circus, and they're like, yeah, just go have fun. And like, Justin and I, we gambled all those quarters away. And my dad was like, which bucket did you tell them to get? Mom's like, I just told them to get whatever bucket was on the dresser. And he was like, Peggy, that was the one with $500 worth. Like,
wow.
We would just like, I mean, she had a couple buckets there, but yeah, we spent probably a good $200 or $300 in the casino, like in the little alleyway. And then we won this big stuffed animal, this big one. And I was like all proud of myself. I've never won one at Six Flags or anywhere. And I won it in Vegas. I was so excited. And my dad was like, I'm not buying a seat on the plane for that.
Right.
Had to give it away.
I did that. I one thing I learned, like playing games like that, if you go to an amusement park, don't play the game till you're ready to leave. Because I went out there and I won one early, and now I'm walking around with this big stuffed animal the entire time I'm at the park. This is like stupid.
One of those big dogs.
Yeah. I'm like, no, this will never happen again. Sure
Yeah.
enough, that's at the end. I play games at the end.
Yep. We, at the state fair one time, we won a goldfish, and we were about to leave. Remember Miles? We were about to leave, and Justin forgot to go get his goldfish, and it was like on the other side of the fair. And this is a huge state fair in Texas, and like we had to walk, and then we couldn't figure out which vendor it was and where they exactly were. And so we my mom named the goldfish Miles for all the miles we had to walk for a 10-cent goldfish. But Justin wasn't leaving without it.
I'm pretty sure from the stories I've heard from earlier, he didn't last long.
He did, actually. He did.
I'm just saying.
I'm just picturing him over there going,
Yeah, I'm just saying that.
He lasted a long time because we had like a Crayola. He was by himself for a long time, and he had like a crayon fish tank, and then he got a bigger one. We probably had him, I don't know, a long time. I remember we had him. We got other fish with him, and he didn't like that very much.
Here, Keisha. 12,500.
nice.
Man,
I'm always sitting next to the person who hits stuff like that. Either that or I sit there and I play my limit for then, and I get up and I leave, and somebody else sits down, 4 spins in, they're hitting a jackpot, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
that's
Right.
usually my
Whenever
mom.
I leave a slot machine, I walk away because I don't want to see. I walk away. I don't want to be around. Somebody comes back and oh my goodness, I can't believe the jackpot I hit. I walk away.
Yeah.
Can you give me the money I put in there back? I don't. You can keep the rest of it. Just give me what I put.
She said do it again. Bill, she needs to see it again.
Oh
Yeah, we had a
man.
machine long. This was before I started working at the casino. We were playing this one. We were going back to this one machine all the time playing it, and it hadn't hit or anything. And we go in there with X amount of money, and once it's gone, we're done. Well, she's still playing. I spent all my money in that machine thinking that maybe it's going to hit. Nope. So I go sit next to her, which is about 3 machines over from the one I was playing. And there's a lady, sits down, puts in, I don't know what she puts in about 4 spins. Boom, she hits the $6,000 jackpot.
Wow.
Yep.
I was pissed.
I've
That's
seen
kind of when
that.
you just don't want to play anymore.
Yeah,
isn't
that's
it?
when I was just like, that's it.
It's usually my mom who's sitting next to me winning.
Yes.
I can't even go to the casino with her anymore because I'm like, well, I'll just give you my money now, Mom. Because I know you're gonna win. Like she's one of the luckiest people I've seen. I've seen her lose, but I've seen her win a lot. Her and my dad. I've seen them tear it up. Just gambling. I remember one time I was with my dad and he was playing like $125 a spin, and I was just like stressed.
Holy moly.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
I was stressed.
I did it one time. I did $100 spin. I had a $100 bill. I put it in a slot machine down at Binion's Horseshoe in Vegas. I got a cherry, so I got 200. Then I spun it again for another 100. I lost, and I took my other 100 and left. It's like I broke even. Yes, but I can always tell that story. I did $100 spin on a slot machine.
That's how he was. He broke even. But and that's how he was. He was like, you got that story. Like he would always tell me, you got to bet big to win big.
You kind of do.
You got to bet
But-
big to win big.
But you I play blackjack, and again, you know, if you go with $100 or $200 and you're betting $25 a hand, you're either going to win some money, or you're going to lose it really fast.
That's true.
So, but again, I mean, you could go up there playing $5 slot. I mean, $5 blackjack. It takes too long. I mean, I can remember going to in Vegas, going to like I want to say it wasn't Tropicana. It was some casino going towards downtown, and I stayed in there from, let's say, 11 o'clock at night to 7 o'clock in the morning playing poker, and I came out with like $30. And I'm like, I'm mad at myself. I spent 8, 9, 10 hours down here for $30. It was just crazy. But again, I was playing at a $1, $2 table, so there were no
Right.
big swings.
Right.
Yeah.
I've had some good wins. I've never had a write up. And you'll know the day I do, because there'll be a post. I've never had a write up, but Lisa and she was playing a different machine. I said, well, I'm gonna go play this one. And Lisa, remember when I lost my wallet at SeaWorld and I only had that $100 bill on me? I'm like, I'm gonna go put this one in here and just give it a go. And I won $1,000, but when it hit over, I didn't know when it was going to stop. Those numbers start kind of climbing fast, and I didn't have my license on me. I had my passport in the room, and but anyways, I didn't have anything on me in the room. My mom was in the room with Chloe, and I was just like, oh, please don't. I couldn't remember my social at that moment. Like, I was just like, oh goodness, please stop. It's the only time ever in the world that I've ever wished the machine would stop, like, trying to pay me out, because I didn't have any, because I was irresponsible. And Lisa and Tony, they've had to go get more than one time. They had to go get my glasses or something from WinStar.
There
Anyways,
was a cell phone and glasses.
what's my
and-
cell phone?
I don't
Yeah.
remember what else.
It's like I getting that gambling.
One thing about I don't know why it's different, but like the threshold to fill out what is it, 1099, whatever the form is you have to fill out when you
1099G.
when you gamble, is like $1,199. Don't ask me why that amount, but if you play table games, you don't have that limit. So I've won like $6,000 on a blackjack table, but I never had to fill out any forms. And I don't know. I don't know.
Did you win that all at once?
Yes, one. You're sitting down at the table, won 6,000, and there's no, you go cash it out and no paperwork done. But on a slot machine, if you win $1,200, here comes right up, and everybody has and I'm sure there's a reason why, but I don't know what that reason is.
Well, was that on that 6,000? Was that on one hand, or was that over several?
Probably over several. So
Yeah, that could be why. That might be why, because we had a guy that in our casino, he hit a $69,000, and this was on one hand. He
okay.
won 69,000, and he had to fill out paperwork, and he was playing that
Well, that might make sense.
Texas Hold'em, Texas. What do they call that game? Ultimate Texas Hold'em.
Yeah.
But anyway, he ended up. I mean, you've got like 10 different ways you can bet, and he ended up hitting a royal flush.
Nice.
And after they figured it all out, it was like $69,000. And yeah, he had to fill out the paperwork and stuff. But I don't think like on the table games you normally hit that big of a.
Not on one hand. I mean, again, I probably have, and I've never done it because I've bet some really big hands in blackjack. I mean, $500, $600, $700. I actually, they had to shut down the table because whatever I bet, they didn't have enough money to pay me if I won. So they had to shut it down and bring more money out. But again, I didn't, and people, I don't go there gambling like that. I start off with $100 or $200, and sometimes you get on streaks and you just can't lose, and you double down and do this. And I always increase my bets, and next thing you know, whatever the table minimum bet is, or maximum bet is, I'm making that bet. and then you get double down. So, and I know people don't play blackjack, but I've had a lot of money on the table at one time, and I won some, I lost some.
Exactly.
I like to say I was playing with their money, but again, I had it in my hand, and here I am, double down $1,000 bet, and they took it. So,
Yeah, been there. Had it in my hand.
had it right there.
Thought it was
then
going
I'm also-
to out.
I've also walked out with a ton of money too, and it's like it's a good feeling. But I do have a problem. I'm hot. I just a few more hands, a few more spins, a few more whatever. And it's like, man, I wish I would have stopped. I would have been, that would have been $500 more in my pocket. But got greedy.
I've done that, but I've also walked out, like you said, with money. There's that one time that I was talking about with Lisa. I didn't really gamble anymore because I was nervous, and I came home and booked excursions with that money.
Oh yes.
I think it was the sloth one to be exact in Honduras.
Well, my kids, we gambling on a cruise ship. I want enough money to pay for the cruise, and the kids is like whatever you want, get. And it's like all the excursions, all the pictures, and all this. They had. It was. I can remember the one was like swimming with the dolphins. So we got the pictures, we got the CDs, we got. Whatever. Get it, because I had more money I knew what to do with.
That's awesome. I love that. I love when you yeah, I love that. And that's how we plan on kind of doing with Chloe too. Do it. Mommy needs to win the casino a little better though. She did not do so good on the dream. I did not do good on the dream.
Well, I used to gamble more on the casino on the cruise ships. I had a bad experience and I forget what cruise ship it was. It was definitely Carnival, but I forget. And I don't count cards. I understand the principle of counting cards. I've actually on a double deck. I've counted cards on a double deck, which counting cards is not illegal. But anyway, I was on a Carnival ship, and I swore that they did something to the decks as far as removing tens from a deck. If you play blackjack, tens are your friend in blackjack. It helps you get blackjack. It helps the dealer bust. And some of the things that they did were mathematically improbable. The dealer, and I'm not talking everybody runs on a streak of good luck and can go on and always making their hand, never bust. I understand they can go on streaks, but they did it for days at a time and never busting. And it was just unbelievable. If I was in Vegas, I would have made a complaint. I would have had, hey, somebody's got to come here and check these decks, because I'm pretty sure they had removed. And it wasn't Spanish 21, which is blackjack, but Spanish 21 is a little different because they remove the tens, not the face cards, just the tens from the deck. I understand that, but this seemed like they removed tens and jacks from the deck, and the dealer was never busting. And this was over a long length of time, and I just kept there watching it, and I just had a bad feeling about it. I'm not a poor loser.
No.
I've lost plenty, but and that's when I stopped gambling so much on a cruise ship.
And I can understand that.
Yeah.
Usually your gut feeling's right, to be honest.
It was just crazy what they were doing.
Yeah.
And I know bad beats, but this was over 3 days. It was just for hours at a time, and it was no. And it wasn't that I was losing, it's how they're winning. You're counting the cards, and it's how can you go this long without face cards coming up? Face cards make up roughly a little over 30% of the deck. So 30% of the time you should get a face card. Not sound like I'm got a gambling problem now, but maybe just a little one. But anyway, 30% of the time you should get face cards, tens, face cards. And this didn't happen, and it went over for 3 days, and it wasn't that way. And it's that's not the probability of of over the number of hours, number of games, number of shoes that I went through. And this is back before they had the continuous shuffler. This is the probability is just too high. This wouldn't have happened, or shouldn't have happened. And I just real bad feeling about it. And I'm like, I don't trust online casinos, and I don't trust cruise ships casinos too much anymore. I still play, but I just don't gamble like I used to.
Right.
I don't know that I'm going to gamble a whole lot on the Jubilee, to be honest, because my goal is to take what gambling. This is a goal. So if I don't do it, it was a goal. My goal was to take whatever I was going to gamble on the Jubilee and and add it to what I am going to gamble on the Norwegian, so I can build up some loyalty there in their casino. But that's my plan. But let's see when I walk by the casino on the Jubilee if I can just not sit down. So that's going to be struggle one.
I'll wave at you from the slot machine as you walk by.
It's tough, especially when you drink free in the casino.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know how many times I bought a $40 free drink. Because I'm sitting at the slot machine. Oh, here's $5. Here's $10. Okay. I'm going slow. And next thing you know, I'm $40 or $50 in for my free drink. I have come out with more money, and I like those. But most of the time, I've lost money.
I agree, and I like those 9-liners, like the 9 lines at $1 a piece. I love them. Andrew's like, stop.
That's tough. I have to be up to do that. To play more than like $3 a pull, I have to be up.
Yeah,
I just can't.
I'm telling you, on the Dream, I was on that machine that first night, and I hit for $600 or $800. I can't remember now, but it was a good amount, and I was like, "Whoo, this could be a good cruise." Should have just stopped then until the last night.
No.
Sunday morning, I head to the casino for my free drink and lose $300. I'm like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
I've done that many a times.
Then I'm trying to win that back. It was not pretty, guys. That was not my finest moment. Gambling wise.
One more spin. It's gonna hit. It's gonna hit. One more spin.
It wants to pay me.
Oh, chasing a pot. Oh, any minute now, that pot's going to close. And I'm going to stay here until it opens, or until it closes.
Those little
Yeah, it never did.
I just know he's on a little
pots and the firecrackers. I don't play those anymore. I've lost my backside on those.
The little pigs too.
Mm-hmm.
Huff and Puff.
Not Huff and Puff. Is it Huff and Puff with the 3 pigs?
Oh no, I know which one you're talking about. The ones that get fat.
Yes.
Yes.
Them. Now Huff and Puff is fun.
Huff and Puff is tough to win at.
I guess I don't know that one.
That's the way the wolf. It's like you build the little houses. You get like the construction.
You're trying to get the gold mansions.
Yeah. I'll show you on the Jubilee. Lisa can show you. I'm going to avoid the casino. Lisa can show you on the Jubilee.
Yeah.
It'll be there. I guarantee it. Quick hits too. I love quick hits too. I like the meltdowns, like where they do the random them, and I like quick hits too.
I like hot stuff, the little devil one.
Yes.
But it's like 2 cents, and your credits don't go as far. But I won $1,500 on the Luminosa. I won $1,500 like really early in the trip. I left it all in the casino. But it was a 20-some-odd day cruise. But it was like the first or second day I hit that 1,500.
See, I have a theory that they pay high on the first day and the last day.
Well, I'm hoping on the new ship they'll loosen it up a little bit, but I have a feeling they're not going to it all on that one. So,
Bill,
I think a lot of people confuse like loose machines with a lot of people hitting. If every slot machine is taken, you have more people playing, you're going to see more people winning. But it's not necessarily and I think that's what a lot of people see. They like that first night the casino is really full, and it's such to thin out. Well, that's because people are not winning.
Right.
You know, the first night everybody's there because the Splendor. I was on the Splendor, 22-day, 23-day cruise. I saw something on that ship that I've never seen in a casino in life, and I don't think I'll ever see it again. But every seat at every table game was taken, and every slot machine somebody was at. There was like people are lining up to get a slot machine. People are lining up to sit at a table. I've never seen that. A lot of those 23-day cruises, you get gamblers that get those offers, those free offers. So they usually get a ton of gamblers on the ship, and they're all trying to play those same machines and play table games. And I mean, it was like a madhouse. Yeah, by the third or fourth night, you can get a lot of seats and a lot of slot machines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know on the Dream, we saw somebody, like we were there that first night. I hit, like I said, and then I saw somebody hit for like 13,000. I saw 11,000. I mean, it was like good numbers. And then I'm telling you that second, third, and fourth day were rough in the casino. Like it was, like a lot of people are talking about it. But I feel like that last night, it seems like I don't know if, like you said, if more people are back down there or what's going on, but it seems like I've always won a good chunk of money back on the last night.
Okay.
Usually. But do not take gambling advice from me. Let me throw that disclaimer.
Definitely don't take it from me.
That last night, so.
I'm not a professional.
But I do love but again, Carnival, they just came out with the new offers, and the new offers suck.
Yes.
Matter of fact, all they did was extend my $100 free, $100 on free $100 and $200 on board credit, but I have to pay for twice, so for two, so I have to pay $200 to get $200 on board credit, so free cabin. But now they're just giving me like one ship, and it's Venezia. I used to get like all the other ships, and here, which one do you want to go on? Not the newer ships, but the some other ships.
You're not even getting the Paradise for free?
No, Paradise is that one. Eddie is get the Booze Cruise 2.0 is very expensive.
Yes.
For the ship, and I'm not getting, and my offers aren't. But again, that's next year, so maybe it's too far out. But I'm not getting any good. I'm not getting any good deals on that. And the Jubilee this time.
That's why we decided not to actually end up going, because it was like, man, we're gonna be paying the same price. Well, a little bit more, not much more, to go on the Utopia, brand new ship, when we're still flying. You're flying to Florida, so airline cost is the same, roughly. And that or the Paradise, we were like, I mean, Eddie's cruise is gonna be great. There's gonna be great people on there. It's gonna be great ports, but for the same dollar value, I think we were just more interested in seeing the new ship.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's kind of like this cruise, the Booze Cruise, where I'm there for the people. Carnival's not the Glory is not a bad ship, but I want to cruise down the Mississippi and meet the people that are going to be on it. So
you're going to have
Paradise. I mean, Paradise is probably, well, I would say, who knows with Carnival, but it's on its last leg, which is a neat thing, because once it's gone, and they'll probably never go back to that type, the fantasy class ships.
It's true.
Yeah.
That is true, and I guess I should consider it so we can scratch it off on our little scratch board.
Oh, I got my little scratch board. Let's see. I haven't been on the Dream, Venezia, Vista, Liberty, or Pride.
Hey, I heard they have a special Pride cruise, like out of.
I'll do it.
You would? In February?
No, I wouldn't do it.
Well, I was gonna say, wow, okay.
It would be interesting, but no.
It would be interesting trying to vlog that.
No, see, again, you would. I'm assuming you wouldn't be doing that, but
no. Jokes aside. Well, I know we've been on a lot longer. I know it's midnight here, so it's like 1 a.m. for you, Bill. I'm going to go ahead and cut it. And then just thank everybody for coming in. I really appreciate you. I've had such a fun night tonight talking with y'all. We've had
Hey.
some fun topics. Hopefully you got to know us a little better and just, we look forward to seeing you and thank you so much. We'll probably be live again on Monday. I think with Destination Fun, but I'll get with her and make sure on the time and date.
Hopefully, it won't be long now before she gets her hours in.
She's close. I was actually watching her. I was trying to run some of her lives. I know, Lisa, you're running her live too, but
Yeah.
I was running her live yesterday with the ships sailing out and trying to catch up on her vlogs.
When she was on the show, was it with Cross with Clock this morning about Disney? I just had playing, but I was still laying down.
I know. I missed it this morning. I told her to be on because I thought it was on at 8 o'clock my time, but she had pushed it back 30 minutes, and then I was trying to get Chloe out the door, and that was a whole new. Yeah. But yeah, make sure you're subscribed to these channels here. They're amazing, and I'm going to end it. I hope y'all have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for joining.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.